All right. Well, it is time for The Impossible Kid by Aesop Rock. I just saw, and I was reminded today on Patreon that it hit its 10-year anniversary. This is an album that has been requested almost basically since day one of the channel. I remember when I first started getting into album reactions, full albums, and this one came up. This one came up, and it's not like brought up all the time, but just consistently. Someone mentions it. Bob, you got to check out The Impossible Kid. The Impossible Kid, Aesop Rock. I will admit, early in my channel, early in my hip hop journey, right? I thought Aesop Rock and ASAP Rocky were the same person, and I got it all mixed up. I was like, is this just like a typo? Because the one is the AE, and then, ASAP Rock spells it with the A and the dollar sign, or Rocky. And then, which makes me think of Tool, because Tool has an album, Enema, but they use a weird character to make the AE the same character. And anyway, just a fun little fact to share, right? Like getting people mixed up, especially when you don't know who is who at all in the hip hop world as you're learning, right? So there was a small period of time where I was like, is that the same album? Same guy? No, different people. The Impossible Kid, I was looking at the little summary on Genius, and apparently this is his 7th album at that time. And the little summary on Genius was talking about how he basically sold all of his belongings, everything except for his music making stuff, some clothes, and he kept his cat, and he moved into his friend's barn and lived in this barn for a year while he made most of this album. Not all of it, but I guess like the core foundation of the album, which is kind of fascinating right there. That's fascinating. And just, I guess, some exploration into some depression and what have you. But just the idea of, being somewhere in your life, it's your 7th album, and you sell basically everything you have to go live in a barn for a year while you work on that. Like, that gets me pretty excited, because your mind is in a special place when you're in that kind of scenario, in that circumstance. This is not a normal situation. And usually that's when some good stuff comes out in terms of music. In listening to this today, I kind of forgot that Isaiah Rashad had an album come out today, a new one. So, oh well. My bad. I kind of had meant to react to that as well, but I forgot. And then some people mentioned Aesop Rock and its 10-year anniversary. And I was like, oh yeah, I should do that. And then I had made my decision and posted it on the places. And then like 3 minutes later, someone else said, oh, by the way, you got to check out the new Isaiah Rashad, because it's like really good. Damn it. There we go. So it goes. 15 tracks, 48 minutes. So a lot of, 3-minute bangers. There was like 4.5 and some 3:45. There's a couple 2 minutes and under 3 minutes. So yeah, let's check this out. 10 years old. 10 years old. So if you remember listening to this when it came out or around that time, that's right. 10 years have snuck by very quickly, as they always do. Let's get into the album. Track 1 is called Mystery Fish. It's produced by Aesop Rock. I don't believe I've heard this guy before. I don't know if he may have been a feature, I may have heard a verse, but I couldn't tell you what it was, what it sounded like, if I liked it. No idea. So let's jump in. First time listening to Aesop Rock, 10-year anniversary of The Impossible Kid. Track 1, Mystery Fish. It's already making me think of the newer 9 Inch Nails that came out. Their show from Coachella. They put it on Spotify, which is pretty badass to put your live show on the Spotify. Yeah. This is already fucking cool. Like the production a lot.
Export, barrel army in a cave when I fail, bit of terraforming. 4 corners of paranormal.
Interesting vocal. This is different vocal.
Thermals in a warehouse, airwares, dairy curdles. St. Vincent de Paul trying to square the circle. Circle the source of his power.
Great beat.
Foresight born at the corner of Howard on sale. Cherry pick blue in the pail. It's a blue nose chew in his tail. Losing his coat. Schmooze in a high in a head rush. Hack up bile over H1N1 and then some. One eye on the breadcrumbs. Other eye on the drink crumb. Other eye on the income. Good night in the grin. Shoot dice with the lice and the ringworms. Peg leg. Smells like many.
Cool.
Leg in the night. Make a pipe out of anything. Take 5, take a dive in the cellar plane. Turn 5 in a 5, 6, 7, 8. Back out, black out somewhere fancy. Shake in the backseat of Aesop's
Very
carry
cool
dude.
production. This is neat
Seat for the
already.
chips and sandwich meat from the crypt in the end. If you give an address and a rib or a piss, don't question a mystery fish. Just picture shrimp on a pillow with grits. Close your eyes, lick your lips. I'm at the cafe ordering a cup of fresh. Sarah gave me 2, I gave 1 to Rex. He said fools ain't shit, plus fuck the pigs. They can never understand what Sumner is. Word up, word up.
Ah, yeah.
Word up. I'm off grid, I'm through the gate. I fly these kites into the fray.
Yeah. I like the production. A lot. And I'm already getting used to his voice.
Kites into the cut. NorCal fried bacteria.
Yeah.
OID survived the vivarium. Try soft feel sourdough and heroin. Eat with the chimera, fly with the seraphim. I hold court with the cats and dogs of old crews like an orb in a dragon's claw. And Terry cloth robes outside detox early. Curse of the beat cop. Doctor of Slurpee. Not no Xerxes. Fearing no moon man.
His flow is very interesting because he's going quickly, but it doesn't sound like he's going quickly. He doesn't have that sound. Like, I'm used to when I hear rappers kind of spit through pretty fast. They kind of get to that like, like it almost kind of takes on like a drum roll type of style in terms of like the vocal cadence. He doesn't sound like that. He sounds, there's something else to it. And obviously I've heard a whopping 2 minutes now, right? So, but I'm noticing that right away. Like, he doesn't have this like drum roll type of flow when he's going quickly.
Stay true like a wolf wearing wolf pants. Ooh, never could avoid himself for long enough to contain or employ his help. And now we look both ways at the asteroid belt. Buzzed, gross and holy gun love. Still hearing X in his head yelling kiss to bring. From a fortune of Fisher King or from assistant care. Blisters in his hair, new day, new diarrhea, disrepair. Soups on 2-ton crucifix to
I have no idea what these lyrics are
shirt,
about.
I said hello to Marshall every 1 to 6. He yelled at me every time. That's a warrior bitch. It only took 1 tooth to crack the bug juice to chug. Turn a bum to a sun to a bug. Outside home is an open swim. Occultism and a throws a corrosive wind. A cold meal with a ghost of friends. A whole host of meds. A deal on its own no cassette. I stepped over a body in the door. I pretend to sleep, but it's probably more. Goddamn. Profound apathy. Heart with a crack. I'm ships in the night. I'm darts at a map. Word up.
I'm darts at a map. Ha. Cool. Fucking cool, man. Like, different, you know? And that's one thing too, I always, I'll take a quick look at somebody's Spotify monthly listeners just to get an idea, right? What's the level of popularity? And because sometimes the popularity is there relative to the amount of requests that I get for an album or an artist or something like that. And sometimes it's not, sometimes there's like a mismatch, right? Like sometimes it's like just a focused group of music nerds telling me, Bob, listen to this, which is fine too. I mean, that works out because I've heard some amazing shit that's pretty far underground, in my opinion. And then sometimes, it's the super, super popular person and I go, yeah, okay. But I've always been kind of curious with this album just because it's just been consistently mentioned. And if anything, if track 1 is an indication of what's to come next, I can see why. Fucking cool production. Already getting used to his vocal style, his flow, although it is different. And I want to be able to, I'm sure at some point I'll be able to explain how it's different. Lyrically, I don't know what the fuck. Let's just kind of read this and see if anything falls into place. The song's called Mystery Fish. Tech support feral army in a cave on a failed bit of terraforming. 4 quarters of paranormal. Get shorn for a thermos and a pair of thermals. In the warehouse air where his dairy curdles. I wonder if that's like the barn that he's living in. St. Vincent de Paul trying to square the circle. What is that fucking about? Circle the source of his power. Square the circle is an idiom that means attempting to do the impossible. In this case, he feels a struggle to help himself like DePaul helped others in a lost cause. He can't save us. Okay, well, that helps, but it doesn't help. Foresight born at the corner of Howard on sale. Cherry pick blue in the pail. It's a blue nose chewing his tail, losing his... No idea. No idea. I can't even, like, pretend. Schmoozing a high and a head rush. Long ass Anna. Well, not too long. Encounters someone selling pit bull puppies on the street. A blue nose is a type of pit bull, which explains reference chewing his tail, losing his coat. Okay. Okay. Which may refer to mange, the mite infestation dogs in unhealthy environments sometimes contract. By stating foresight born, he seems to metaphorically apply this animal state to his own. Howard Street in San Francisco runs from Somebody at the top of the Mission neighborhood and is home to a mixture of gentrifying tech douchebags. Lots and lots of really dicey homeless people. Okay. Is he from San Francisco? He must be. Hack up bile over H1N1. That's the virus. And then some. One eye on the breadcrumbs. Other eye on the drencrom. Other eye on the income. What's a drencrom? Drencrom is a reference to the drink from A Clockwork Orange, which I have read, but it's been a long time. Okay. Good knife and a grin. Shoot dice with lice and the ringworms. Peg smell. Smells like Medellin. I don't know what the fuck Medellin is. Colombian City. Known for its cartel called Medellin Cartel. Cocaine market. Okay. Wake in the night. Make a pipe out of anything. Take 5, take a dive in the cellophane, turn 5 into 5, 6, 7, 8. No idea. No idea. A double entendre with a narrative in either direction. You can take a break and open up a pack of cigarettes and return to make music, or you could open up your sealed cellophane pouch for your harder drugs and end the distracted. 5, 6, 7, 8 applies to counting time, music, and wasting minutes. Okay. Okay, sure. That's an interesting line right there. Take 5 and take a dive into the cellophane. Turn 5 into 5, 6, 7, 8. That's really, like, fascinating. Either you're wasting your time because you're just fucking around, smoking a cigarette or something else, but also dive into the cellophane and then turn your music into something more. Oh, that's interesting. That's really kind of cool. This is going to be hard to figure out on my own. Blackout somewhere fancy, shaped like the backseat of Aesop's Camry. Seat full of chips and sandwich meat from the crypt. In the end, if you give an address in a river of piss, don't question the mystery fish. Just picture shrimp on a pillow of grits. Like, pretend this crappy food you're eating is actually pretty good, I guess. Close your eyes, look at your lips. Yeah, I'm at the cafe ordering a cup of fresh. NorCal fried bacteria. No ID survived the vivarium. What the fuck is vivarium? I'm going to learn a lot of... I'm going to get my vocabulary expanded on today. Vivarium is an enclosure made to contain plants or animals for study. Okay. Try soft wheel sourdough and heroin. Eat with the chimera, fly with the seraphim. Might hold court with the cats and dogs who hold cools like an orb and a dragon's claw. What the fuck? Contrast to a person who holds a target with a trope of dragon holding a crystal ball. Okay. In terror cloth robes outside detox surly. Curse at a beat cop. Doctor a Slurpee. Adopt no Xerxes, fear no moon man. Stay true like a wolf wearing wolf pants. Okay. Well, let's move on to track 2. I don't want to explode my brain on the first song of the album. This one's called Rings, produced by Aesop Rock. Let's drop in. First track was pretty fucking cool. Great production. Hope to hear more. Here's to Rings. And hopefully, lyrically, maybe I can catch up. I don't think I'll be able to. Yeah, dude. Good sound. Yeah. Dude's making some killer fucking beats. Great.
Used to draw. Hard to admit that I used to draw. Portraiture in a human form. Doodle of a two-headed unicorn. It was soothing. Moving his arm in a fusion of man-made tools and amused from beyond. Even if it went beautifully wrong, it was tangible truth for a youth to refuse to belong. No name nuisance. Who's in a bedroom? Who's in a brand new uniform? Barely commune with the horde, got a whole grayscale ungluing his world. Might zone amp to the yap of the magpie. Unseen hand dragging his graphite. Plus contour, little bit of backlight. Black ink after a Bristol to baptize. You can imagine a rush that ensue when you get 3 dimensions stuffed in a 2. Then it's off to a school where it's all you get to. Being trained and observed by a capable few. Back in New York by peeps and a dog in a 2-bedroom doing menial jobs. Plus rhyming and stealing and being a clod. Distractions, freedom, a rod. I left some years of giving a light. I left some will the spirit away. I let my fears materialize. I let my skills deteriorate. Haunted by the thought of what I should have been. Continuing a mission that was rooted in a 20-year affinity and rickety condition with an ID crisis. Snap on the front lawn, look up in the sky. It's shapes falling out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. Just to count your rings.
That's pretty
just
good.
to count your rings. And now we're colors pouring out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down
just to count your rings.
Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings.
So I mean, that's obviously like a tree, you know, the age of a tree. And so, you know, the idea of cutting down a tree just to count its rings, right? Destroying something that's been around for a while, because you would only do it for a large tree, right? You wouldn't do it like a small tree. You go, oh, this is a young tree. But what if there's this really, really, really old, ancient? Because I think trees are the longest living organisms on the planet. Like they're some of the oldest living things on the planet are trees. So the idea of chopping something down, which kills it, destroys it, just to count how old it was, right? What a horrible thing to do for something that's been around for so long. It's like disrespectful, to put it mildly, right? Let's go through this verse first. I'm gonna try and tackle this verse by verse. Maybe like when I get to the second verse, it'll click a little bit. Used to draw. Hard to admit that I used to draw, and I like that. You know, hard to admit that I stopped doing this thing that I did. Portrait of the human form, a doodle of a 2-headed unicorn. It was soothing, moving his arms in a fusion of man-made tools and a muse from beyond, even if it went beautifully wrong. And I like that. Even if it went beautifully wrong. Because sometimes you go to draw something. I used to draw quite a bit. I don't draw anymore. I can't. My skills are gone. Like, not even like weakened. They're just gone. And I just like the idea of somebody drawing and trying to draw something, but then letting it turn into whatever it is and just calling it beautifully wrong. That's nice. That's a good perspective right there. It was tangible truth for a youth who refused to belong. No-name nuisance stews in a bedroom, oozing a brand new cuneiform. I don't know what the fuck a cuneiform is. Barely commune with the horde, got a whole grayscale ungluing his world. What the fuck? Cuneiform is an ancient system of writing developed by Sumerians. Okay. So it's just sitting in your room, basically detaching from society, drawing pictures, that kind of a thing. Might zone out to the yap of the magpie, unseen hand dragging his graphite. Cross contour, a little bit of backlight, black ink after a Bristol to baptize. You can't imagine the rush that ensue when you get 3 dimensions stuffed into 2. So making your drawing look good enough that it looks 3-dimensional, which is obviously on a 2-dimensional. Well, I guess technically, you know, paper and pencil is in the 3rd dimension, but the drawing exists on that flat plane. Then it's off to school where it's all that you do, being trained and observed by a capable few. Back in New York, 5 peeps and a dog in a 2-bedroom doing menial jobs. Plus rhyming and stealing and being a clod, distractions, freedom, a rod. I left some years a deer in the light. So just like staring kind of in fear or mesmerized, I suppose. I left some will to spirit away. I let my fears materialize. I let my skills deteriorate. Good shit. Let's keep going.
Used to paint. Hard to admit that I used to paint. Natural light on a human face. Stenciled fire in his roommate's base. It was blooming addiction. A miss and a push and a pigment. Book like a tattooed pigskin. Look, pinhead kids in a minute. Drank Kool-Aid from a tube of acrylic. And I grew up in a linseed oil ever linen. Joy to the poison, voice to the resin. Capture a map of a gesture. Back up, add a little accurate fat to the figure. Redo that, move that inward. Zinc white lightning shoots from his fingers. Studios strewn with illusion and tinctures. Stay tuned for the spooky adventures. You can imagine the stars that align when a forearm starts foreshortening right. Or a torso hung on a warping spine in proportion. Reads as warm and alive. Routine day with a dirt cheap brush. Then a week goes by and it goes untouched. Then 2, then 3, then a month, and the rest of your life to beat yourself up. I left some seasons eager to fall. I left some work to bury your life. I let my means of being dissolve. I let my person curl up and die.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Anxiety is brutally committed to relinquishing his privacy, aligning with the trials of the anti-Midas. Snap on the back lawn, look up in the sky. It's
oh wow, I like that second verse a lot.
All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your
That's
rings.
A great verse.
Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. And now we're colors pouring out of the fringe. All heart though we would have made cowardly kings. They will chop you down just to count your rings. Just to count your rings. Just to count your rings.
I'm getting sick and tired of never understanding. Where is the truth you promised?
The kid that worked down.
Oh, what's that from? I feel like I should know that. Oh no, I don't. The animated film Star Chaser: The Legend of Orin. Second verse is great. So it starts the same way he used to paint. Hard to admit that he used to paint. He spends the first half of the verse really like describing painting, and he kind of makes it sound like he enjoyed painting more than drawing, honestly, with the amount of detail he puts into these different things. This is where it gets great. This is where it like hit for me. It connected for me, you know. The torso hung in a warping spine. The proportion reads as warm and alive. Routine day with a dirt cheap brush. Then a week goes by and it goes untouched. Then 2, then 3, then a month. And the rest of your life, you beat yourself up. I love that because I've done that. And I can feel that. This thing of kicking yourself for not pursuing a passion, for not sticking with it, for letting other things pull you away, from being distracted, right? Well, all that kind of stuff. I do that way too much. I left some seasons eager to fall. I left some work to bury alive. I left my means of being dissolved. I let my person curl up and die. Eating up his innards, an unfeasible anxiety has brutally committed to relinquishing his privacy, aligning with the trials of the anti-Midas, so everything you touch does not turn to gold. That's the anti-Midas. Nap on the back lawn, look up in the sky. Great song. Great song. Well written. Very well written. This is cool. Very cool. Now I'm feeling less badly about not listening to the new Isaiah Rashad, although people have said that one's already great too. But this is fucking cool. Yeah, that gets a heart. Let's go to 3. You know, one thing I was going to say, I don't really come into this with any expectation of like a story throughout the album. I don't recall anybody ever mentioning that. So I'm just going to kind of take it song by song. I'll try to pay attention to a broader context across the album, but right now I'm just taking it song by song. Here's 3. Lotta Years. Aesop Rock's producing. Drop it into 3. Here we go. 2-minute song.
The kid that worked down at the local Baskin Robbins got a tattoo of a lipstick print attached above his collar. I watched him relocating pistachio to a waffle, thinking I had lost the plot, if not the passion for the novel. He asked me what I wanted. I ordered something daft. He said he liked the tattoo Alex drew me of the bats. Thanks. I like it too, but modestly confess, in present company, my coloring is not the main event. Look at that
interesting.
The messages of meeting at the guy F's chicks. I spent a lot of years making friends with cool artists, so when they drew me tattoos I could truly feel important. Now some 22-year-old inside a cube of brick and mortar got me questioning my morals in their corny pecking order. I should give a shit less. Cherry, no. Whip, yes.
This is a great song too.
Lotta Years. Lotta Years. The girl that worked down at the local juice place got a head full of dreadlocks down to her waist. I watched her add the spinach to the ginger to the grapes. My hair was underwhelming, my juice was fucking great. Some lady orders maca, compliments the locks. She asked how many years it took the girl to grow the crop. It took a lot of years and then eventually I cut them, kept them, and reattached them anytime I want them.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
My mind's fucking blown.
My mind's fucking
Future
blown.
is amazing. I feel so fucking old. I bet you clone your pets and ride a hoverboard to work. I used to build a map to find the juice You should have seen me in the 90s, I could ollie up a curb. You should have seen me in the 80s, I was bumping New Edition, Dragon Acne in the 80s.
Bumping New Edition. That's gotta be Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, no, that's a group. Okay.
Lotta Years.
I was thinking Dungeons and Dragons.
Know what I mean? Lotta Years.
Great song. I love that. I love the mental snapshot of himself, where I am, where these people are, what I used to think was cool, what I'm starting to question it's actually not cool now. This verse 2 is great. We're gonna go over both. Let's go over both. I'm too excited. I'm trying to talk about two things at the same time. The kid that worked down at local Baskin Robbins got a tattoo of lipstick print attached above his collar. So like right here, right? I watched him relocating pistachio to a waffle, thinking I had lost the plot, if not the passion for the novel. I'm just going to read this and I'll talk about it. He asked me what I ordered something daft. He said he liked the tattoo I drew me of the bats. Thanks. I like it too, but modestly confess in present company, my coloring is not the main event. Look at that neck. The message is immediate. The guy F's chicks. And what I love about that is he's so like flabbergasted by this, because the guy is also working at Baskin Robbins putting pistachio ice cream into a waffle cone for him. Like, and I like that because it's kind of like shattering the illusion of who you have to be or what you have to do to get a lot of chicks, right? So it's amazing. And that's why I like the line a lot about thinking I had lost the plot, if not the passion for the novel. Like I'm doing. How is this guy working at Baskin Robbins, hooking up with all these girls? Like, what the fuck am I doing wrong, right? And then this other one, this second verse is fantastic too. The girl that worked down at the local juice place got a head full of dreadlocks down to her waist. I watched her add the spinach to the ginger to the grapes. My hair was underwhelming. My juice was fucking great. Some lady orders maca, compliments the locks. She asks how many years it took the girl to grow the crop. It took a lot of years, and then eventually I cut them, kept them, reattach them anytime I want. My mind's fucking blown. And I love it because my mind is also blown. Like, that's I would never ever consider that as an option. Like, oh yeah, I could just cut the dreadlocks off, keep them, and then whenever I want to have dreadlocks again, just put them back on. The future's amazing. I feel so fucking old. I bet you clone your pets and ride a hoverboard to work. I use a folding map to find the juice place in the first. These kids are running wild. I'm still recovering from church. You should have seen me in the 90s looking all the way up a curve. Great song. Great song. Great mental snapshots of like realizing moments. And two, they're not just like moments of realization, but moments of realization where it's like, oh fuck, I'm fucking up. I've had it all wrong this whole time. That kind of a thing. Great song. Great song. You know what, too? I haven't spoken again about his flow, but I like his slowed down, almost like storytelling flow in this track. Let's keep going. Track 4 is called Dorks. Perfect. Producers Aesop Rock. Dropping into 4. Here's Dorks.
Question. If I died in my apartment like a rat in a cage, would the neighbors smell the corpse before the cat ate my face? I used to floss the albatross like daddy came with the chain. I'm trying to jettison the ballast with the hazardous waste. The kid is comfortably numb, routine a tedious crutch, steep in a self-imposed Stockholm and Lima in flux.
I feel like there's a lot of music references already in this song. Let's see if it keeps going. Comfortably numb, rat in a cage, albatross. Anyway, let's keep going.
Be an occupation popular with demons and ducks. Mid any mingling akin to being seasoned and stuffed. It's theater of jumping jellyfish, jealous little sycophants. Miserable and flimsy from the skippies to the pissy pants. Each one separately convinced they're sketching with Da Vinci's hands. Delusion turn a communication a prison camp. You fucking dorks ain't a threat to the cause. There ain't a lesson we can learn from the ostensibly lost. I think it's funny when defendants from identical haunts step out the tempest to measure of what the spectrum involves.
Cool.
Maybe no one cares. Party over here, I'll be over there.
I like this guy. I fucking like this guy. I like this one too.
I used to hang around with rappers at the root of the scene. It meant a lot to feel the fugitive community breathe. Maybe the sentiment allows us to be truly naive. I know some shit about your heroes that you wouldn't believe. I think we're all a bunch of weirdos on a quest to belong. The song's a echolocation of an impregnable fog. That's why it's odd to see a pile of imperfections and flaws ascend a pedestal to patronize the rest of the cards. A mess of obnoxious fantasy, posturing and pageantry. I ain't even mad, I'm impressed, shit, it's baffling. God almighty, chopping ivory tower the piano keys. Play your own dirge on the way to surfing Maggot Beach. You fucking dorks ain't a source of the art. You can't be cooler than the corners where you source all your parts. The poker face, all it takes a couple sordid remarks. We let the manicore out, we make the sorcery bark.
Yeah,
Life is so unfair. Party over here, I'll be over there.
Great second verse again. Great song.
I view the rattling of sabers like a show to expose insecurities exploding in emotional code. When braggadocio to go from mostly jokey to gross. Corrode a homie till his probity is notably ghost. Before the hobby was a job, he was a miniature hell. You would wobble around your mama like an infant gazelle. The disillusionment has truly been a difficult pill. But you was anything menacing as a difficult sell. And a whistling bellarama. Black mollies that dress up like piranha. It's not even compelling melodrama. It's a comedy somebody wanna shop you as a saga. I'm very voluntarily persona non grata. You fucking dorks ain't the leaders we need. This ain't the medium believers out to weasel and breed. I'm off in coffee with the paupers over tea with the queen. Don't make them show the regency what disobedient means.
Cool
Heavy
song.
load to bear. Party over here, I'll be over there.
Interesting. What was the one? Rings. Kind of feels like an extension off of some of the concepts off of Rings. Because this feels like a rejection of the music culture, music society, whatever you want to call it. I assume so. Let's go for verse 2. I really like verse 2. I used to hang around with rappers at the root of the scene. It meant a lot to feel the fugitive community breathe. Maybe to sentimentalize is to be truly naive. I know some shit about your heroes that you wouldn't believe. It's probably very true. This is one reason why I'm not on board with the fucking purity posturing online where, I only listen to artists that have never, ever done anything wrong before. That's zero. That's probably zero. Probably every artist out there has done something where if we found out about it, we'd go, ooh, I don't know if I'm cool with that. That's what Billy Woods, too, on the Hiding Places album. There was a song, I forget how the lyrics go. I've been listening to some Billy Woods recently. But, hanging out with these rappers that you shouldn't leave your kids with for 2 fucking minutes or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but I know some shit about your heroes that you wouldn't believe. I think we're all a bunch of weirdos on a quest to belong. The songs are echolocation up an impregnable fog. And I love this next part. That's why it's odd to see a pile of imperfections and flaws ascend a pedestal to patronize the rest of the cogs. Love that. Love that. In a mess of obnoxious fantasy, posturing, and pageantry. I ain't even mad. I'm impressed. Shit is baffling. Yeah. How the fuck did this psychopath screw up all of a sudden become some hero, some ascended artist that everybody looks up to and praises and what have you? What the fuck is going on? God almighty, chop an ivory tower into piano keys. Play your own dirge on the way to surfing Maggot Beach. You fucking dorks ain't a source of the art. You can't be cooler than the corners where you source all your parts. I like this guy a lot. I like the way he writes, man. Pretty cool writing. I feel like track 1 was like fucking just being thrown into the fire, right? Like track 1, if I went back and read it again, I still won't understand a single word of what's going on. But this guy's got some great vocabulary, and he's just a different style of writer. The poker face, all it takes a couple of sordid remarks, we let the manticore out, we make the sorcery bark. So is he talking about like if you just talk shit about these people a little bit, they turn into the monster who they actually are? Let's see. Here's the annotation. Aesop is implying that a few uninvited or offensive statements would cause unrest in the hip-hop community. Okay. Essentially saying that all hell breaks loose even just after a few words here and there. Okay. I view the rattling of sabers like a show to expose insecurities exploding in emotional code. Or in braggadocio to go from mostly jokey to gross, Kuroda homie till his probity is notably ghost. God, I can hardly even read it the way. But it's cool because he's like, you can really read the rhyming structure there too. Before the hobby was a job, he was a miniature hell. You would wobble round your mama like an infant gazelle. The disillusionment has truly been a difficult pill. But you as anything menacing is a difficult sell. Yeah, dude. This is fucking cool. You fucking dorks ain't the leaders we need. Let's keep going. I'm excited. Like, I kind of want to like just dive. But at the same time, I want to keep going. I love these lines too. Each one separately convinced they're sketching with Da Vinci's hands. So each one all separately thinks, they're just like the most creative, most like world-changing, innovative, right? I should have busted out the old thesaurus dictionary. Because these words, like, ostensibly, I forgot what that shit means. Interesting, the picture here. You're talking a lot, but you're not saying anything. Anyway, so here's the annotation for the line. There ain't a lesson we can learn from the ostensibly lost. And here's the annotation. All these whack-ass rappers he's been talking about don't have anything important to say. They're lost in their own world of delusion. He is reiterating his thesis that there is no value to these people, so don't put too much weight on what they say. They have nothing to say, have nothing to teach. Doesn't make them any less convinced that they're the shit, though. That's absolutely true. A lot of it, too, though, is... Like, that's true, but it's also true that there's plenty of times when it's more of just like a persona, a presentation, a performance, There's been a lot of times where I maybe get a little cranky about what somebody's rapping about, and people tell me, Bob, it's not about believing that. It's about just feeling. Feeling kind of like a badass, feeling indestructible, trying to get yourself hyped up, trying to just feel better. It's like, okay, I get that a little bit. Good shit, man. Let's keep going. Let's go to track 5. It's called Rabies. It'll be interesting. Produced by Aesop Rock. Is it all produced by him? I hope so. Great production so far. Here's track 5, Rabies. Wow.
Hey, warm cider, barn full of spiders, orange moon, starry night, particle exciters, in a pageant rivaled only by the origin of fire. Now at an organism from alternative environs, a dozen pair of cartoon eyes in the thicket to see a neophyte get sliced in a ribbon.
That little guitar lick coming in.
And assimilate, duck a suit, troubleshoot as moody as their interface. True and sucker-proof, who to fully disengage. Florida's only vanishing point away from the picture plane. Go to where the radio trails off and people catch rabies on the way to their mailbox. Under a sideways rain, cornering the briar, still pull a broadsword from a hoarded synthesizer. Nap in a hole in a tree. Cat leaving bowls at my feet. Talking Master P, memory foam, everything. Jettison, arrest and roulette us a new trajectory. Spinal Tap 11, tapping resin out the
Spinal Tap 11.
Designated dark horse, headless independently. Sidewalks end with palms and frog eggs. Buried bones and its very own blurry Sasquatch vids. Led like field ants to a hot lens.
I have no idea what this song is.
Cobwebs, fight.
No idea what the fuck this is about.
Maps won't work here.
Cool song though.
Ice over bittersweet nightshade. Antlers rise from his migraine. Shredder die. Life strange. How do you identify? New with them to all our package with a Vespertine. Me, I'm pretty useless to the Rufus painted Gemini that set him free. Eat his own body weight in genocide. Came back a decorated dog of war once more, though he currently stuck in the dog door. Additionally, dog isn't even his final form, just a period between greenhorn and Hyperion. Peer into the eye of a primordial experience. Portamento warriors in unforgiving wilderness. Borderline ethereal. Noah's Ark Rome tone. Add a little up high, down low, too slow. Found acquaintances a pain to babysit, so we gave
I'm
away.
pretty sure that's a reference to Terminator 2. Well, not necessarily Terminator 2, but that is in Terminator 2. Down low, too slow. This shit's wild.
Shit and gave them all the slip now. Pets hit the ceiling when the wind blows. Fish float belly up. Songbirds crash in the windows. Swizzle apple cider vinegar and dish soap. Suicide flies take dips in the kill zone. Still shuffle through a stack of old photos taken before the varicose verified chronos. I don't know, it feels weird. I'd rather feed an apple to a deer.
This is bizarre. Bizarre.
I might have heard something in the walls. Could have been voices, could have been claws. Could have been a rebel yelling something more evolved. Pounding on the front door and standing all alone like, what up?
No idea. I have no idea what to make of that song.
Ain't shit.
Cool. I like the beat. I mean, so far I've enjoyed the beat on every song. Just this cool style. Kind of like a slightly darker vibe. Kind of sinister in a way. Let's read this fucking summary. So here's the song bio. Aesop describes the details of the world he finds himself in while composing The Impossible Kid. Okay, so I kind of figured that because he's mentioned some things that sounds like living in a barn. And the cat's there and all that shit. He spent a year living in the barn in the woods, carving out a decent portion of what would become this record, followed by a year back in an urban environment where the remainder was written and recorded. This track narrates the contrast between his prior life as a city dweller now trying to acclimate to the rural environment. Okay. Yeah, because, talking about like walking around the pond and all this kind of shit. Warm cider, barn full of spiders, orange moon, starry night, particle exciters. In a pageant rivaled only by the origin of fire, now at an organism from alternative environs. A dozen pair of cartoon eyes in a thicket. So like reflecting eyes, like at night, looking back, right? To see a neophyte get sliced into ribbons. Is he thinking he's going to get killed out in the woods? I'm here to pick lice off each other and assimilate. Duck a suit, troubleshoot his moody user interface. True and sucker-proof, grew to fully disengage. So this line, duck a suit, troubleshoot his moody. I feel like, I'm going to shed, I'm going to get rid of these fancy clothes. I'm going to try and troubleshoot these moods, his feelings, right? True and sucker-proof, grew to fully disengage. And obviously, if you sell all the shit and you move into a barn, you've pretty much fully disengaged. Float his only vanishing point away from the picture playing, go to where the radio trails off. So he's so far out of town, you can't even get a radio signal. And people catch rabies on their way to the mailbox. So that's probably like, it's not like a literal thing, but he's saying, I'm so far out in the boonies that your mailbox you have to walk to really far away, which I used to live in the country, and my mailbox was way down at the end of the driveway. It wasn't that far, but yeah. And it was all farmland, so it's not like it was in the woods. But yeah, there are places out in the woods where your mailbox at the end of your driveway next to the road, and so you got to walk however long your driveway is. And then if there's animals running around, yeah, you're going to get rabies. This is kind of cool. It's so bizarre too, because the way it's written, it seems almost abstract, but really he's just being plainly literal. I live so far away, you can't even get a radio signal, a radio station. And if you go pick up your mail, if you walk, you might get bit by something and get rabies. But the way he writes it is obviously much more entertaining. Under a sideways rain, cornering the briars, still pull a broadsword from a hoarded synthesizer. It's like I'm going to pull my weapon from this musical equipment. Nap in a hole in a tree, cat leaving voles at my feet. What are voles? I don't know what voles are. Oh, little type of mice. Okay. Talking Master P, memory foam, everything. Jettison the rest and roulettes. A new trajectory. Spinal Tap 11, reference to the movie. This one goes to 11. Iconic scene. If you've never seen This Goes to 11, just get on YouTube and type in Spinal Tap, but this one goes to 11. It's just like the best 60-second conversation you'll ever hear. It's so good. It's one louder, isn't it? It's one louder. Oh fuck. Tap and resin out the evergreen. Designated dark horse headless independently. Sidewalks end with ponds and frog eggs. Yeah, you're just way out in the middle of fucking nowhere. Buried bones and his very own blurry Sasquatch videos. Looked like Field Ants to a Hot Lens. 8 o'clock kittens versus cobwebs. Fight. That's a really cool verse. Once you understand like the perspective, and I suppose it does make sense. One thing that's tough, man, like, and I feel like this with Billy Woods, the most recent reaction, the Hiding Places one. There was so much stuff I didn't get on first listen, and then on second listen, third listen, I'm getting it, and I go, oh my god, I'm so dumb. How did I not? It's so obvious, but I don't know. I overthink shit. But it's been fun listening to Billy Woods more, and just picking up on this and picking up on that, and some of it's so obvious, and I just go, oh my god, how did I not get that? Eat his own body weight in genocide. What in the fuck is that about? In battle rap, defeating an opponent. Oh, yeah, so that's downvoted. Well, it's downvoted, but I kind of agree. In battle rap, defeating an opponent rapper is often equated with eating them. Yeah. Aesop has consumed so many rappers that it's borderline genocide. Came back a decorated dog of war. Maybe, who knows? Taken before the varicose verified Chronos. I don't know. It feels better than feeling an apple to a deer. So it kind of sounds like he's enjoying his time in the barn. So he gave away all his shit and gave them all the slip. Now pets hit the ceiling when the wind blows. Fish float belly up. Songbirds crash into windows. Swizzle apple, cider, vinegar, and dish soap. Suicide flies take dips in the kill zone. Still shuffle through a stack of old photos taken before the varicose verified Chronos. I don't know. It feels weird. I'd rather feed an apple to a deer. It does seem like he's just kind of enjoying this time in the barn, which I commend the courage to do something like that. I need a full reset, because a lot of different ways to full reset, and there's a lot of ways that are not healthy. I kind of feel like, you know what, I'm just going to sell everything and move away and go be on my own and go make some music. While difficult and detaching, at least it's not self-destructive. And it's cool to see somebody throw themselves into a completely different experience and then appreciate it too, kind of enjoy it. That's neat. Let's go to 6. It's called Supercell, produced by Aesop Rock. I'm assuming this is going to be about like a storm, a crazy storm, because that's the first thing I think of is Supercell. But it could be a double meaning. Maybe his barn is some sort of super cell, like a prison. But it's a super prison in that it's helping him actually reform. What's the word? You go to prison so that you can be not reformed, made gooder, made more gooder. It is. Maybe it is reformed. Was I actually right? What? Right. Holy! Write that down. It's the 1st of May. I was actually right. 1st of May, 2026. Right, here's Supercell.
Oh, yeah.
Die
Oh.
already. None defied a one-man walled city. Stone-made flesh veins etched in his hands. 88 stands straight, then invasive plants and rain dance on safety.
Yeah, fuck
Race
yeah,
for the
dude.
Supercell.
I like this one.
Near
This already
footage
gets
for your
hard.
blooper reel. Who could tell? Pours hot tar from the top of the barn. Necktie on his head, condor on his arm. Dog star in a jar, bordering unsustainable. Mea culpa, maybe I should pray a cult. Systematic Catholic or sigil in a Baphomet unraveling. Either way, his ID show a snake and skull. Always been a private dude who couldn't keep a tally of which lies he told. Who? Dye his hair, shave, change names in his lazy drawl. Soon enough, I will estrange you all like a ghost.
Wow, dude. I like this one. I like this one a lot. Supercell. I like his flow on this one, too. It feels slightly more like kind of punctuated, like a little bit of a punch at the end.
On Dasher, half-dead carolers, wreck a whole advent calendar. Brother on speakerphone, lurking at the Burgerville. Bathrobe, hammer toes, murdering a curb appeal. What I'm even turning or forsaken with the craven and carnivorous vegetation that take 'em for a steakums. I don't know, I gotta think about it. Truthfully, I don't know which makes me a bigger coward. Either stomach or the hubris. Cash in his 2 cents, loose lips locked up over a chewed Eucharist.
This is
Or
fucking
maybe
cool.
reappropriate the energy. Hold up, passing a poultry to Hecate. Bullheaded burnout, fled his own pedigree and never better. Never would have met your heaven anyway. Mary, go make soup out of bones. Just know when the room go cold, I'm a ghost.
Wow. I like this one a lot. Supercell. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I like or super. I want to call it Ghost, not Supercell.
Fleek home exorcism and deworming. Fitted for a curse and a crown of birds circling. Search party falling forward, unthwarted. Meet him at the crossroads, drawn and quartered for a master of puppets outside of his cupboards. Non-dairy creamers, can a last supper and I runneth over cup full of black tap water. It's a marvel of privacy over back hunter. Raspberry jelly on his Jesus toast and turn heather gray sweats in a Easter clothes with no immediately measurable crime wave ice age. Christ's children still skin a cat sideways. I don't pick teams or administer bans. I'm in the creek with a pick and a pan and go forcibly ejected or a voluntary death scene. Tell them what the out of order blinking EMF mean. Ghost.
Ha! We're going through all the lyrics on this one. All the lyrics on this one. Fascinating song. Yeah, dude. I really like Supercell. This is a cool fucking album, man. Cool album. Let's go through the lyrics here. Die already. None defy the one-man walled city. That's got to be the barn, right? Stone made flesh, veins etched in his hands, 88 stance, draped in invasive plants. What's an 88 stance? Here's the annotation. Being out in the cabin in the woods has a hold of him as weeds and other invasive plants are grabbing at his legs, keeping him there. Okay. Weeds are also invasive plants. Yeah, sure. I don't know. It doesn't describe 88 stance. Okay. And rain dance unsafely, brace for the supercell. And that right there, I'm not going to click the annotation. I want to stew on that one on my own. Like a rain dance unsafely. Like I'm picturing somebody who's kind of out in the woods and maybe they're starting to like get into it, like enjoy it, right? And maybe they're kind of getting a little crazy. So you're rain dancing. But like rain dancing unsafely, brace for the supercell, like trying to summon up this crazy storm. And really, if you think about it metaphorically, that's in a sense what he's doing with his life. Like, let's fucking reset. Let's go nuts. I'm out here. I'm here. Let's do it. Let's actually really do it, That's how I take that. Who knows? Mutiny or footage for your blooper reel. Who can tell? Mutiny or footage for your blooper reel. So like it's either this is an active betrayal or I'm just screwing up. Like, oh, I made a mistake. One or the other. Who can tell? Pours hot tar from the top of the barn, necktie on his head, condor on his arm. Dog star in a jar bordering unsustainable. Mi culpa. I don't know what that means. Maybe I should pray a cult. What's mi culpa mean? Mi culpa is Latin for through my fault. Okay. Maybe I should pray a cult. Systematic Catholic or sigil of the Baphomet unraveling. So this is like I'm either being hardcore religious or I'm going like full scale pagan. And I feel like really what he's describing in an odd way is this split between normal life and I'm going crazy and living in a barn and dancing, for rain. And like, I feel like this is kind of like this mental split right now. Like I essentially have experiences of two people. I've had this person that lives the normal suburban life, right? Whatever job and all that, necktie, kind of like what he talks about. But now like I've turned into this crazy person that lives out in the fucking woods. And like, I don't know which way this is going to go. It seems like that. And I'm trying to just share my own experience with this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'm not trying to say that's what this is. But like, this is just the experience I'm having right now. And it's so much fun. Either way, his IDs show a snake and a skull. What's the snake and the skull about? Given his general nerdiness in reference to pop culture, this line likely references the Death Eaters from the Harry Potter series. Oh, okay. I don't know I don't know Harry Potter. My wife and son watch it a lot, but I don't know. I never pay attention when it's on. Always been a private dude who couldn't keep a tally of which lies he told who. Dye his hair, shave, change names, and his lazy drawl. Soon enough, I will strange you all. I get ghost. Here's verse 2. On Dasher, half-dead carolers, decahall, wreck-a-hole, advent calendar. I love that rhyming scheme through there. I don't know what the fuck it means, but I love that rhyming scheme. Brother on speakerphone, lurking at the Burgerville. Bathrobe, hammer toes, murdering the curb appeal. I don't know if he's talking about him or his brother, but I feel like he's on the phone with his brother and his brother's trying to, hey, come into town, we'll have a burger, while he's standing in a bathrobe with his hammer toes hanging out. Hammer toes. Like, bro, I can't show up like this. I'll murder the curb appeal. Would I be returning or forsaken with the craven and this is carnivore, right? Carnivore. I can't say this carnivorous word. Vegetation taken for this is steakums. I fucked this up. Let's read this annotation. Steakums is an American brand of thin sliced frozen steaks. Okay. Referring the previous line, 88 cents draped in invasive plants. His brother's asking on speakerphone whether we return to the city or continue to stay outdoors. Oh, with the carnivore vegetation. Maybe. Okay, whatever. I don't know. I got to think about it. Truthfully, I don't know which makes me a bigger coward. Either stomach all the hubris, cash in his 2 cents, loose lips locked over a chewed Eucharist. I don't know what the fuck any of these words mean. Where's my dictionary? Does it mention what a Eucharist is? No, it probably does. I'm falling apart. My poor brain is already melting. Or maybe reappropriate the energy, hold up, passing the poultry to Hecate, bull-headed, burnout, fled his own pedigree. And never would have met your heaven anyway. Mary, go make a soup out of bones. Just know when the room get cold, I'm a ghost. So it's trying to decide, to put it very fucking plainly and very boring, do I go back or do I stay here? But he's worded it so fancy. So fancy. Loose lips locked up over a chewed Eucharist. What the fuck is a Eucharist? The Eucharist being a Christian symbol for the body of Christ. Okay. Over loose lips locked up over a chewed Eucharist. Hecate is a Greek goddess that has many connections with witchcraft and sorcery. Here's the annotation. He feels he's facing a brutal choice. To silently swallow his pride and play along with the religion he doesn't buy into, or flee it and embrace it. Okay, well, okay. Maybe, sure. I feel like it's more of a split between do I stay here in the barn and be a crazy person or I don't go back to the normal life. But who knows? Here's verse 3. Flea comb, exorcism and deworming, fitted for a curse and a crown of birds circling. That's a fucking awesome. So I've been playing the Diablo 4 expansion, the most recent one, not Vessel of Hatred, Lord of Hatred. And I made a druid because I like being a big bear and smashing things. Smash, man. But you can summon birds too. So the idea of a crown of circling birds is fucking awesome because it's just, oh, that's my druid. That's my Diablo 4 druid. Search party falling forward unthwarted, met him at the crossroads drawn and quartered. For a master of puppets, how sad are his cupboards. Non-dairy creamers, can of last supper, and a runneth over cup full of black tap water. Fascinating. So he's just kind of detailing how pathetic his current situation is. It's fascinating. He calls himself the master of puppets too. That's a Metallica reference. The annotation won't load. It's a marvel of privacy over pack hunter raspberry jelly on his Jesus toast. What is Jesus toast? Oh, that's right. There was that one piece of toast that someone said. I remember that going around on the internet. Oh, it's Jesus' face on the toast. Okay. I'm gonna stop. I said we're gonna do all the lyrics. I'm kind of done. I like the way this guy writes. It's fucking wild. Cool song. I like Supercell. I think Supercell is my favorite so far. But I'm really just enjoying all of this. Rings was good. Yeah, this is cool. Cool. Yeah, let's hit the bio here. Read more. The song seems to be about a ghost, whether that be a literal ghost haunting the barn or a figurative ghost. The thread of the narrative is drenched in fantasy and mystical elements, much like the song Leisure Force. Here's some Supercell is a Christmas song. Supercell got remixed about 500 times. Ended up going with the original version after trying forever to get it go elsewhere, which is kind of cool. I like when a piece of art just takes on its own form and then refuses to reshape out of that. Like, no, this is what I am, and that's all there is. Let's go to 7. It's called Blood Sandwich, produced by Aesop Rock. Drop it into 7. This one appears to be the longest on the album at about 4.5 minutes.
Yup, steps up to the plate. Little brother, little league. 87, he was 8. Rookie season for the skinny slugger, newly at a T-ball. Pit against the pitcher with a ripper you could eat off. Church then a grip loans, run a third first. Granny yelling go Cubs, nose in a word search. Seen milfs like apes on a monolithic bleacher in an advocating war and peace in lieu of sport and leisure. Hi Peggy, I was 10 chewing on a sweet tart. Little brother left field Queens guard, mean arm, knees bent, 2 out, 2 on bags. When I caught him staring down at something moving through the grass. Hold up, tag runner and a whole cast rotate. Not before he could identify the culprit. Granny yelling go Cubs, Graham yelling go Fur. New left fielder, give a fuck about a homer. Got a homie, little rodent head and shoulders at a supple. No baseball in the bubble. Ruh-roh, parents started adorable. The players followed suit, inning crawling to a close. Head coach not amused. Coach seeing red. Coach on the diamond, dragging 27 inches of aluminum behind him when he transfers third. The families turn nervous. The following is a transcript. The man versus vermin. Here we go. Man stands out by a hole. Pest pops up to patrol. Man plays live whack-a-mole in a scene that would try every child as adult. Whoa, Paul Bohr with a ball mitt thrown over the fence. Coach at the bench. Both teams lose. Good game, good game. Granny yelling go Cubs. Cubs ain't playing.
Wow.
My little brother is a funny dude. A lot of funny shit happened to him. My other brother pretty funny too. Ain't seen him in a minute though.
Huh. Let's do a pause. Not going to go over all the lyrics. Pretty straightforward. But the thing about one thing I really like about this guy and how he writes, especially that verse, in particular that verse, like I can see that. And I was talking about something the other day. I don't remember what it was, but I used to read quite a lot. I haven't in a while, basically kind of ever since taking over the channel. I haven't been reading, but I've been trying to get back into reading. And one thing that happens with me with reading is I usually don't see what I'm reading. It's more of like just a concept, and I don't really try too hard to see it. Sometimes I can, but most of the times I don't. Like I just finished The Winter of Our Discontent by Steinbeck. And the ending, I won't describe it, but he goes to this place. He's gonna kill himself. He doesn't kill him. I guess I just fucking ruined the book for him. Kind of. But he goes to this place, and it's described. I can't really see it. I don't really see it. This I can see. Especially the part when he says the coach is dragging 27 inches of aluminum behind him. Like I can just see him dragging the bat behind him. You know, I really like that verse because I can just see it all. And, you know, these poor kids are all excited, like, fuck baseball. Look, there's a gopher. Oh, my God, look at the gopher. The whole granny yelling go Cubs with her nose in the word search. You know, she's not paying attention. She just keeps yelling go Cubs. Anyway, let's keep going. Great verse. Great. I could just see the whole thing unfolding. And I was also one of the team members, just for fun, was also Butters from South Park, because I could see Butters totally getting involved with a gopher in left field instead of paying attention to the ball game that's like right on the verge of being won or lost, right? Like, oh my God, look, fellas, it's a gopher.
Just in case of rough waters, I wanna put one up for my brothers.
Cool.
Just in case of rough waters, I wanna put one up for my brothers. Yep, not a part of the machine. Big brother, big idea, 9016. Oi button tee, plaid flannel, late an adolescent art kid. Tony Hawk hair, skinny puppy denim, and a record player vomiting alien sex fiend. Peel sessions in a Christian home for field testing. Real youth in a palm of your hand when your mom thinks Satan is involved in a band. We were buried in the village voice, checking it was playing where. Pulled his head up out the paper, pushing out a single tear. 5 words like a beacon, a light in a mist. Ministry, life with the wrist. It was Christ is risen. Chris, 3 loves, 2 fish. Miracle of mechanized loops on 2-inch. Coming to a theater, he would be there in the flesh. Moms didn't say no, but she didn't say yes. Cop tickets, side of plot thickens. Countdown to ultimate concert experience.
So Ministry is a very metal industrial band. So let me back up just a little bit because we're getting to the part. I'm reading the lyrics ahead, but yeah, Ministry is not a band that might sound like what they could be based off the name. They're pretty much the opposite of that.
Cop tickets, side of plot thickens. Countdown to ultimate concert experience. Mom still worrying. Why are they called Ministry? Are they a cult? Maybe she would probably investigate. Bought a mag with an Al Jurgensen.
Yep.
Read a couple sentences. Glanced at a pick or 2 or 3. That's all. No fair trial. Simply you will not be going to the show and that's final. What occurred next with the top of the lungs of a son who unjustly had lost what he loved? In a moment that would transcend anger, the high art said, this is something I am willing to die for. Can you even imagine a death in a band from industrial fandom? Anyway, nobody count no concert and Chris kicked rocks in his mismatched Converse. My older brother is a funny dude. A lot of funny shit happened.
Oh my God, dude, that's too
we hadn't
fucking
spoken
funny.
in a couple months. I called him last night. How you doing?
That is too fucking funny. Great song. I like Blood Sad.
Just in case of rough waters, I wanna put one up for my
I never in a million years thought I'd hear a verse in a hip hop song that was about going to a Ministry concert.
Just in case of rough waters, I wanna put one up for my brothers.
That is fucking hilarious. Great verse. Slabs, I want to read this verse to you. Okay? Yep, not part of the machine. Big brother, big idea, 9016. So that's the year, September 2016. Nabatine teen, plaid flannel laden, adolescent art kid.
Tony Hawk hair, skinny puppy denim. So that's like the jeans, right? Skinny puppy, I think, is an artist too. Anyway, and a record player vomiting alien sex fiend peel sessions in a Christian home for field testing. It's real youth in the palm of your hand when your mom thinks Satan is involved in a band. We were buried in the Village Voice, checking who was playing where, pulled us up out of the paper, pushing out a single tear. 5 words like a beacon in a light in the mist. Ministry live at the Ritz. And you would know Ministry if I put it on. You'd recognize some of the song. Jesus spilled my hot dog, or not my hot dog, my hot rod. Ding a ding dang a dang a dang a ding a dong ding a dang a dong ding a dong ding a dong ding a dong.
That's fabulous.
So they're looking through the thing to see who's playing, right? Ministry live at the Ritz. It was Christ Has Risen to Chris. 3 loaves, 2 fish. You probably know that more than I do. I don't know.
Yeah, that's when you fed
the people.
Like,
3 loaves, 2 fish. Yeah.
With that.
So Chris is his brother. So it was Christ Has Risen to Chris. 3 loaves, 2 fish. So he's going to be fed off this, right? Miracle of mechanized loops on 2-inch. I don't know what 2-inch refers to. Anyway, coming to a theater, he would be there in the flesh. Moms didn't say no, but she didn't say yes. Cop tickets, the plot thickens. Countdown to an ultimate concert experience. Ma still worry, why are they called Ministry? Are they a cult? Maybe she would probably investigate. Bought a mag with Al Jurgensen interview. I think he's like the lead guy for the band. Read a couple sentences, glanced at a pic or 2 or 3. That's all. No fair trial. Simply, you will not be going to the show, and that's final. What occurred next were the top of the lungs of a son who had lost what he had loved, in a moment that would transcend anger to high art, said, "This is something I'm willing to die for." Can you even imagine? A death in the fam from industrial fandom. Anyway, no body count, no concert, and Chris kicked rocks in his mismatched Converse. Oh my God, dude. That's like one of the best verses ever. I fucking love it. I love it. And I love that it's about trying to see Ministry. Oh, shit, man. Music is so fun. You guys, it's so much fun. You know, this, to me, that is so much more entertaining than hearing a verse where a person's talking about all the bitches he's fucked and how much money he has and the car. Like, this is, so every now and then when I complain, right, like, can we just talk about anything else? I would love, shit like this is phenomenal, in my opinion. And look, everything's got its own place, right? You got your party songs and you got your braggadocious and all. Of course, I get that. But like, after a while, you just feel like you've heard that verse before, you know? I've never heard anything like that before. Oh, that's fucking great. That is great. Great. Blood Sandwich, definitely. I don't know if it beats Supercell, but got a very soft little spot in my heart for Blood Sandwich. That's an amazing song. Okay, let's go to 8. It's called Get Out of the Car, produced by Aesop Rock. Dropping an 8. This is a little 2-minute banger here.
Let's see how y'all be trying to front, man. Y'all be fronting, man. Been a bit since Mood died. Been a lot more lost and awake. I recall thinking someday someone's gonna say it's all from the same cause and effect, and I just couldn't fathom. Blaming a whole new page on a made-up chain reaction. Each claim individual peaks and pockets. Pains in a slew of unique nuances, know what I mean? When you wake up 8 years non-responsive, it's a lot to process. Gone from a happier jack in the box to a package of clogged up chakras. Oh, shot spot, nothing ever after. Rewanted from the once upon a time, ... Once upon a time, he was so much more than a punchline for his own pot shots. I watched the Impossible Kid, everything that he touched turns promptly to shit. If I zoom on out, I can finally admit it's all been a blur since Moon got sick. None of the subsequent years stood a chance. Whether it was mom's or his man's, whether it was pops or his girl, I was poisoned. Heart full of canines, head full of voices. Whole life trying trying to quiet him down like a suicide king with a knife in his crown. Hounds at bay, but they just won't stay. True friendship in a tugboat way. Ego dark in the face of the fucked. When the fucked was a friend, I was basically done. Into the woods, go a alien tongue. It was that or a textbook fake and a funk, and I can't. Here go the hindsight. 8 years been one long blindside. I can pinpoint 7 more turns that occurred cause he never really healed from the first. Oh, what a world, and he hack as a myth, and he dap as a joke, and he map as a trick, and he graph as a hoax. Ease on down, I'm burning up, I'm bleeding out. No one ain't half the battle, that's a bullshit quip written by some asshole. You can own what you are, still sit around stoned in your car, not doing shit, halfway to nil, cranky and waiting for a boss key and hat full of bills. Get out the car, Ace.
Get out the car. That's a great song too, man. Get out the car. Get out the car. Do. You gotta do. That's a big part. That's something I struggle with pretty consistently. You gotta do. I talk a lot to myself. I tell me, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Oh, okay. And in a way, it's like I convince myself that I've already done it. No, you just gotta do shit. You gotta do it. Who is Moo? Who is Moo? Camus Tao was an American rapper producer. He and Ace were both signed to the Definitive Jux label, which was co-founded by LP. Okay. He died on May 25th, 2008, after a 2-year-long struggle with lung cancer. This was one of the few tracks since 2008 Aesop has been able to directly address his passing. Been a bit since Moo died, been a lot more loss in the wake. I recall thinking someday someone's going to say it's all from the same cause and effect, and I just couldn't fathom blaming a whole new page on a made-up chain reaction. So what's that about then? Here's the annotation. When grappling with extremely adverse circumstances, people often find solace in ideas like everything happens for a reason. Ace doesn't buy this. He doesn't think that Camus' death and the other tragedies in his life are attributable to some invisible, coherent chain of events. Okay, sure. Maybe, yeah. Each claim, individual peaks and pockets, pains and slew of unique nuances. Know what I mean? When you wake up 8 years non-responses, there's a lot to process. Gone from a happier jack-in-the-box to a package of clogged-up chakras. Not the ever after he wanted from the once upon a time ... So obviously not the ending to the story that you want when you get from the start of your story. Once upon a time, he was so much more than a punchline for his own pot shots. Watch The Impossible Kid. Everything he touched turns promptly to shit. If I zoom on out, I can finally admit it's all been a blur since Moo got sick. None of the subsequent years stood a chance. Whether you're his mom's or his man's, whether you're his pops or his girl, I was poison, heart full of canines, head full of voices, whole life trying to quiet him down, like a suicide king with a knife in his crown. 8 years been one long blindside. I could pinpoint 7 more turns that occurred because he never really healed from the first. What a world. Oh, what a world. That's what the Wicked Witch says when she dies. Oh, what a world. Any hack is a myth. Any dap is a joke. Any map is a trick. Any graph is a hoax. Ease on down. I'm burning up. I'm bleeding out. No one ain't half the battle. That's a bullshit quip written by some asshole. You can own what you are and still sit around stoned in your car, not doing shit halfway to nil. That's such a great line. Because knowing ain't half the battle mixes so well with it. Because, yeah, you can be totally aware of why you're fucking depressed, why you're so down, why you've been treating people like shit. But until you actually do something about it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It's the action that matters. So for him to finish that verse and that song with "Get Out the Car," yeah, fuck yeah, that's a great song. That's a great song. Get Out the Car. It's a fantastic album. Let's keep going. Track 9 is called Shrunk, produced by Aesop Rock. Dropping into 9, Shrunk. Oh, another beefy fucking production.
My first name is a random set of numbers and letters and other alphanumerics that changes hourly forever. My last name, 1,000 vowels fading down a sinkhole to a susurrus. It couldn't just be John Doe or Bingo. My address, I made up language written out in living glyphs, lifted from demonic literature and religious texts. Telephone uncovered by purveyors of the Ouija, then checked against the CBGB women's room graffiti. My socialist Sudoku, my age is obscure. My in case of emergency is in the daisies chasing birds. Employed by trillionaires with perfect teeth and pores, and people who open doors for the people who open doors. My medical history is a course at SUNY Buffalo, charlatan psychiatry and troubleshooting undertow. Nervous in the service still, I'm burger meat and purple pills here. Thank you, but call your name, sure you will. Skipped lunch.
Trippy, man. Trippy.
I'm shrunk. Back aboard your manias, you're sitting in a waiting room, you're dreaming of Arcadia, you're feeling like a baby tooth, the waiting panacea, channeling your inner Beowulf in purgatory just before you pay up to fillet yourself and others. In the name of help, colon a conveyor belt, in an ego death alone, no telephone from Gabriel. I'm half a human, combing over home and garden stone, gold chains over turtlenecks, cigars over cologne. 1,000 shitty paintings wrap around a wounded animal, womb with the Schubert, he's a future human cannonball. Little fuckers fighting, mother hiding in her hulu. I'm climbing up the stucco. Let's get to the seppuku. That pretty penny turned the prickly into Benji. If you save up all your winnings, then you get to count your blessings. I finally crunched the budget up and punched the button. She called my name out and pushed me into an oven. The fuck?
This has got to be about going to see a psychiatrist, right? Shrunk. The shrink.
Shrunk.
It's got to be. I love this drum fill before we drop into the verse. It's got to be about seeing a psychiatrist. Shrunk is great.
She says, I'm not your enemy. I said, that sounds like something that my enemy would say. Instead of playing off the chemistry, she said, you're being difficult. I said, I'm being guarded. You're $250,000 debt. I get more guidance from my barber. Look, I'm not good at this. I grew up in a noogie fest. You built your walls of pie or said goodbye to all your cookie puss. Here's one. Every time my telephone buzzes, I see images of hooded riders setting fire to hundreds. She said, when you start getting all expressive and symbolic, it's impossible to actualize an honest diagnostic. I said, when you start getting all exact and algebraic, I'm reminded it's a racket, not a rehabilitation, okay? Agree to disagree as grown-ups from opposing clans, honoring the push and pull. I should have called the Scolamance. Oh well. Preservation is a doozy. Will you be needing another appointment? Absolutely. I'm shrunk.
Great song. Great song. Well, I'm not going to go through it all because great. I feel like it is pretty straightforward. This is about seeing a psychiatrist or a shrink or whatever. I did really like employed by trillionaires with perfect teeth and pores, and people who open doors for the people who open doors. Love that. I love that because there's, you picture, the rich important person, and then of course that person somebody else opens the door for them, because that person is able to open, career doors or something like that. You pack up all your manias. You're sitting in the waiting room. You're dreaming of Arcadia. You're feeling like a baby tooth. I assume I wonder if he means that in the way of like a tooth breaching. And so you're in pain and you're kind of crying like a baby, or like a tooth on the verge of falling out. It could kind of be either way, In purgatory, just before you pay up to fillet yourself and others in the name of help. Coal on a conveyor belt. Into ego death alone. No telephone from Gabriel. I'm half a human combing over home and garden, stoned. I love this part. Gold chains over turtleneck. Cigars over cologne. Oh, fuck, man. I'm climbing up the stucco. Let's get to the seppuku, which is like that's like the Japanese, like, honorable suicide for like disgrace and shame or whatever. Like you have to kill yourself. If you save up all your winnings, then you get to count your blessings. I finally crunched the budget up and punched the button. She called my name out and pushed me into an oven. Great conversation between them too. You're being difficult. I'm being guarded. You're $250,000 in debt. I get more guidance from my barber. Look, I'm not good at this. I grew up at a noogie fest. You built your walls up higher, said goodbye to all your cookie puss. What is that about? Cookie Puss was an ice cream cake character created in 1970 by Thomas Carvel. Growing up with his brothers, I just knew that you had to keep your guard up or someone would take your ice cream. Okay, sure. Here's one. Every time my telephone buzzes, I see images of hooded risers setting fire to hundreds. When you start getting all expressive and symbolic, it's impossible to actualize an honest diagnostic. I said, when you start getting all exact and algebraic, I'm reminded it's a racket, not rehabilitation. Oh, I think that's the word I was trying to think of earlier. Rehabilitated from prison. But reform, we'll just pretend I was right the whole time.
Yeah. I mean, the notation's already there.
Oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll say
I mean the mark, the point.
Yeah. The scorecard thing.
Yeah.
My brownie point or something.
You can't take that.
I get a brownie for being right, even though I was wrong. But we didn't find out I was wrong until much later. So I already ate the brownie.
The brownie's already baked.
Let's go to 10. It's called Kirby, produced by Aesop Rock. What a fucking fun album so far. Here's 10, Kirby. Being an ode to his cat. Okay, great.
Kirby? What you doing there? Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby? What you doing there? Hobgoblin, shots of hops rogered. Vaccine queen deemed church socks hostage. 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Cole met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the heroes of tomorrow in a cardboard box. And probably hoarding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. Swap 20 on the spot and cop the warlock. Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. Briefs on her head, playing walking with a panther. Good around misery and golden era samplers. Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers. Bet more than a bet to worship, it's an MD recommended sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Hear the battle round keys and the means to euphoria. Soon to be held the greatest of all warriors. Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby?
This is great.
What you doing,
This is
Kirby? Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby? Why'd you eat that leaf? Yo, homie, don't fetch. Only woke.
So, this song is about his cat named Kirby, and I'll read it to you later. But the hook ends with "Why'd you eat that leaf?" So
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
gonna read these lyrics to you when
That
it's
is my
done.
daily question.
Yeah. Let me finish listening to the song, but then I'll read the 2 verses to you.
Okay.
It's amazing. You're gonna love it.
Stretch under a fort, bubble rich with bowls of goldfish. Skittish in a company of stranger danger. Otherwise, chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers in a steel cage match with a maze of cables. Brazen, game face based on Azazel. Oversized ears up, puke in the meow mix. Shred a pair of earbuds, remedy is cowlick. Thanks, Curbs, looking like a millie. Keep an old man sharp, keep a cold chantilly. Spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment. Never lands on her feet, though I think she's broken. Mouse are in training, nap on the toaster. Decorator cubicle with dogs playing poker. 15 years taking prescriptions, now a shrink like, I don't know, maybe get a kitten.
Yeah, great song.
What you doing,
Great song.
Kirby? What you doing there? Hey, Kirby. What you doing, Kirby? What you doing there?
I don't know. Maybe. Oh shit, man. Okay, you ready for these verses? Sams? Ready for the Kirby song? Okay. I'll just read it to you, and if you have questions, then we're just to skip over your questions. Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's stuff that you don't get, that's fine.
Yeah.
Hobgoblin, shots of hot stronged. I don't know. The vaccine queen, deemed church socks hostage. 9 weeks, awesome. hides in a slipper, look in her eye like she might be a wizard. Cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the Heroes of Tomorrow in a cardboard box and probably hoarding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. Swapped 20 on the spot and copped the Warlock. Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper, briefs on her head, playing Walking with a Panther. Good around misery and golden era samplers, Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers. I don't know what the fuck that means. More than a pet to worship, it's an MD recommended sense of purpose. Here to bat around keys and the means to euphoria, soon to be hailed the greatest of all warriors.
That's super cute.
There's one more verse.
Okay.
Homie don't fetch, only woke to stretch. Under a thought bubble rich with bowls of goldfish. Skittish in the company of stranger danger. Otherwise chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers. In a steel cage match with a maze of cables, brazen game face based on Azazel. I don't know what that is. Oversized ears up. Puke in the meow mix. Shred a pair of earbuds. Remedy is cowlick. Thanks curb. Looking like a millie. Keep an old man sharp. Keep a cold chantilly. I don't know what that. Chantilly.
Chantilly lace.
Chantilly. What is chantilly? Ice cream. Okay. Oh, it's like a commercial. I don't know. Anyway. Spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment. Never lands on her feet though. I think she's broken. Mouser in training. Nap on the toaster. Decorated cubicle with dogs playing poker. 15 years taking prescriptions. Now a shrink's like, I don't know, maybe get a kitten. So, I mean, and this is the cat that he brought with him to the barn. So it's just great.
That is
Like,
so
just
good.
happened to see this lady selling cats in a parking lot. Just gave her $20, took a kitten. There we go.
That's awesome.
Yeah. This has been so much fun. Why did you eat that leaf?
That is a question. Every single day. That is Voodoo's preferred. It's either the leaf or one of the leaves on the agapanthus.
So my wife, every morning, she gets up, she's trained the cats. So we don't let the cats outside. They're indoor cats because we have dogs all around us in the surrounding houses. And the previous cat we had an issue where that cat jumped over the fence and got mauled and her shoulder was all fucked up and whatever. And there's other cats too. So we love these cats. We're protecting them. We're being, I don't know, overprotective maybe. But there's just a lot of hazards outside. However, the cats want to go outside a little bit. And so my wife has trained them. She bought 2 medium-sized harnesses because our cats are massive. Medium dog-sized harnesses. And they know that when she gets up in the morning, she makes her coffee, and then after she has her coffee, they meet her at the back door, and she puts on the harnesses, and they're all purring while she's doing it, and she has a leash, and she takes them outside. And they're outside anywhere from 30 seconds to 5 minutes until basically as soon as they start eating vegetation, they have to go back in the house. So every morning they get to go outside for like 2 or 3 minutes until they start eating leaves, and then they go back in. And that's it. God, dude. It's too funny. This is a fantastic album. Let's keep going. Next one's called TUFF. This is track 11. It's produced by Aesop Rock. Dropping into 11. TUFF.
Dumb diggy.
Oh, yeah.
Bump Biggie to the landlady, holler, get a haircut, hippie. The death knell generator, entertain a fresh kill. Breath quell, dressed like a bloated sack of dead cells. Shedding purple tape, purple hawk gape, a single flower through the permafrost. Pick himself and learn I walk in furry pants. War paint, circling a deralogue. Boar face, devil by his side like a service dog. Schlock purist, watch the block.
I have no idea what this song's about.
Profits in the parking lot at Perkins. The perfect politicians, 30 clicks outside of Sturgis. Doggy bag doctors, military deserters who still shop surplus and can't hold jobs. I look like I'm wearing a ghillie suit when I'm not. Roll out, ghost to Camus when the pegs might pedal by the police. Tough with 2 F's.
Tough with 2 F's.
Fuck that shit. Look. Can't tell if I'm a little withdrawn or dead dog sent to quote-unquote live on a farm. The Coke bottles, tint film noir, chipping out the milk bar. Poison horde, shot a cup, milf Life in the zip car, 6 arms, 6 hand styles like ships on Scrimshaw. Part Def Jam, part Discord. My wig picker threw me out of her office, had the cold turkey benzo. Summer was awesome. Onion a Benzies, summer was awesome. Got brats on the grill, wormwood in the cauldron, horse hoof in the dog's mouth, cholera in the well. Make money periodically vomiting on himself. I read Nat Geo, craft and crack geodes. Lift 40 hats at a craft depot. Unleaded liar blood pumped through his neck. Came down from the mountain tough with 2 F's.
Interesting. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. What's the summary? Is there a summary? No. I feel like it's just him, like, detailing himself, describing himself after living in this barn for a while, maybe? I don't know. I kind of like this beat, though.
You, what are you laughing at? I said, what are you laughing at?
Before a player ever met his Omega, they were effectively reducing his behavior in a data. With plans to build a day, I swear to people grow potatoes and cabbage. Don't make them raise the gate between the betas and a spectacle displaying the nature of strange neighbors. I paint caves till the rage campaign tapers and show a new crop how we used to moonwalk. Out of breath like a 7-day-old balloon dog. I still hang band posters and buy black lights. Crib decorated like a dorm room in Brandeis. Still pretend I'm gonna build another half pipe. Never mind the fourth ever christening and pant size, man. Who could have guessed the future of abominable imagery would also share a birthday with Kenny G? None. The 99-cent 2 cents keeps 2 arms folded tough with 2 F's. Yeah, let's do it like that. I pay a guy to lean over steepled fingers and convince me to pay him for his teas and tinctures. The string cheese dinner kids speak cheech wizard for the gone like Gossamer under number 3 clippers. Free, forged in various pulp channels. Even his prime horse rides a wolf in a battle. Even his blood and body couldn't pick him out a lineup or his name off the paper. It's Ace, pronounced Y-us. First learn a high yard, an eye and a mark. Buying nickels for a dime at the park. I learn a rhyme, a new I learn to breathe underwater. I learn to walk with a ghost. The deed is reeking of sulfur and chauffeur cemetery font when home was a bleeding ulcer. Everything you ever stood up for is keeling over. Moonset, beautifying cartoon death. Catfish on the farm and tough with 2 F's. Yeah.
I have no idea. No idea what that song's about. All I know is it's tough with 2 F's. That's it. That's it. Let me click this annotation for the tough with 2 F's. The song contains lots of themes harkening back to Ace's youth. Tough, when spelled with 2 F's, is a slang term that is basically a hybrid of cool and badass, going along with the rebellious attitude expressed in the previous line. Tough is definitely an adjective that would fit in with young Aesop's personal ethos. Sure. I pay a guy to lean over steepled fingers. Let's see. He summarizes his thoughts on an interaction with a sort of urban guru who seems to be recommending more holistic remedies such as snake oils or fish. String cheese dinner kid may be referring to his diet while comparing his dialect to the comic strip character Cheech Wizard. For the gone like Gossamer under number 3 clippers may be referring to the Looney Tunes character Gossamer, who's often depicted in goofy barber gags. Fuck if I know, man. Yeah, this song, no, I have no idea. No idea. I like the buying nickels for a dime at the park. That's got to be about, if you see someone ignorantly spending twice the street value on a nickel of weed, that's a mark. Oh, okay. I was thinking of a dime. I was thinking a dime like a girl who's a 10. That's what I was thinking of. So the only thing I even kind of recognize I was wrong about. That's how over my head this song is. I can't tell if I'm a little withdrawn or dead dog sent to quote unquote live on a farm. That I understand. If he's out there in the woods living in this barn, like, have I just removed myself from this society so that I can focus on myself? Or did I just send myself off to my own graveyard, essentially? The Coke bottle's tint, film noir, tripping out the milk bar, poison horchata cup, MILF in the zip car, 6 arms, 6 hand styles like ships on Scrimshaw, part Def Jam, part Discord. My wig picker threw me out of her office, had to cold turkey benzos, summer was awesome. No idea. I have no idea. What the fuck?
Summer was awesome. Got brats on the grill, wormwood in the cauldron, horsehoof in the dog's mouth, cholera in the well. Sounds like everybody got sick that summer. This first fucking, the opening to verse 1, to dumb diggy, bump biggie till the landlady holler, get a haircut hippie. That's pretty straightforward, right? The death knell generator entertain a fresh kill. Breath quelled, dressed like a bloated sack of dead cells. I have no idea, dude. No idea. I feel like there's a lot of words. And he probably is saying something. And it's probably like double meanings, but... Out of breath like a 7-day-old balloon dog. That's a good line. I still hang band posters and buy black lights, crib decorated like a dorm room at Brandeis. Still pretend I'm going to build another half pipe. This is kind of like living in the past, essentially. I don't know. No idea what that song's about. Maybe it's like a fake TUFF. Maybe he's kind of laughing at himself for not essentially acting his age, Maybe he's still kind of thinking he's tough, but really I should grow up a little bit. Who knows? Interesting song. Let's go to 12. This is called Lazy Eye, produced by Aesop Rock. Drop it into 12, Lazy Eye. Is that fucking...
My spirit animal comes with a pretzel bun, troll at a treadmill, record on the Kessel Run allegedly. Edgy for 11 Z's to megabucks, techies with the treble down. This is how we level up. Dead meat, time, treble, pressure, and disease. Ass ushered out of 2 fingers, pecking at the keys. The coping mechanism in his elemental P's. Went from healthy to unhealthy to a hell he never leaves. Cineplex Jesus, cursed at the curly fries. Mulling over Chuck D, telling me diversify. I'm at the supercut, souping up the wardrobe. Forecast looking like an Esh on 4 phones. Hello. Base camp, space camp, bass in your base fuck, brace for the rain dance. Back in the back of the classroom after a magical nap in a vacuum. Act natural, whatever that means.
Whatever that means for you, yeah.
Whatever that means for you. Whatever that means for you. Super fresh.
What's funny is he talks about the Kessel Run, which is a reference to Star Wars, Han Solo, and the Millennium Falcon, which I love to call the Aluminum Falcon because of Robot Chicken. But then he talks about act casual or act natural, whatever that means for you. It just makes me think there's a scene in Return of the Jedi. I'm going full nerd here. I was a huge Star Wars fan when I was a kid. Disney ruined Star Wars for me. I don't really care about Star Wars anymore. But back when I was a kid, fucking loved it. So Return of the Jedi, it's before they land on Endor, and they've got like the fucking bad guy playing, the bad guy, Imperial whatever play, and they're waiting to see if the codes will go through, and Han Solo tells Chewie, fly close but not too close. I don't know, fly casual. I always thought that was fucking funny. Fly casual in your stolen fucking Imperial shuttle while you're trying to get your fake codes to go through. Fly casual. Anyway, there's my nerd story. Thank you for listening.
Climbing douchebag mountain, I was skatered. I started eating kale and came to terms with my lazy eye. Putting on a yoga lady, cutting off the cable guy. Whistle while you're waiting for your condition to stabilize. AV cables everywhere, every piece of vinyl scratched. Ventilated tiger bomb, I leave with the arthritis cap. Irons in the niacin, iron quiet riot mass. Cunabashed privacy expanding in a simulcast. 40 winks, never the same adventure. Refreshing or the sing-alongest exorcism ever. In the end, you gotta wonder if it's even worth the effort. No stairways into heaven, you could step into the usher. Some people have mistaken my allegiance for a weakness. It fucked me up for eons. I wish there was a theist, the type to fake his death, then forget he faked his death. Show up on TV in the crowd at the AVNs like act natural. Whatever that means for you. Whatever that means for you. Whatever that means for you. Super fresh.
Hey, peace, Aesop. It's Chuck D. Yo,
Chuck D.
man, you keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep rhyming through those walls, right?
Sometimes I feel my heart putrefying inside my body. From diarrhea dark to piety in the Ponzi. On my better days, they mingle and walk off into the poppy. On my worst, the work is overshadowed by the Monty. Had to buy some clothes.
Yeah, this guy is sometimes it's so hard to what the fuck you talking about.
The motley in him. Maybe I should kinda sorta move to Mars. I'm feeling kinda done. Too many moving parts. The piss poor vision is 40% floaters. The kitchen is a chorus of glorious leftovers. The friends you confessed all the dark shit to it. Weaponize the information before we could send roses. brothers and they want a little pearl on how we got to where we at. I can't remember where I am, I feel it's probably a trap. Balk with the lawless, caught in his notes. Walk on even when the walls hug his coat. Act natural, whatever that means for you.
Is there a summary for this one?
Means for you. Whatever that means for you. Fresh.
Oh, that's it. Shit. I was reading the old summary. So here's the summary. In line with the personal tone of Impossible Kid, Lazy Eye enumerates many details of Aesop Rock's life that cause him pain, frustration, pressure, or anxiety. The song touches on themes of aging, physical fitness, isolation, and unmatched friendship. Ace explains the issues and then expresses how he's coping with them. Does he? I mean, I don't know. Let's go to verse 1 a little bit. Let's look at this. My spirit animal comes with a pretzel bun. Troll of the treadmill. Okay, so he's not like taking care of himself. He's eating and not taking care of himself. Record of the Kessel Run, allegedly. Edgy from 11s to Mega. I don't know what the fuck. Techies with the treble down. This is how we level up. Dead meat, time travel, pressure and disease as ushered out of two fingers pecking at the keys. The coping mechanism in his elemental P's in his alphabet. I guess? I don't know. In his song. Went from healthy to unhealthy to a hell he never leaves. Cineplex Jesus, curse at the curly fries. Like, I imagine cursing at the curly fries means, God damn it, like I can't resist these types of things. Mulled over Chuck D telling me to diversify. I'm at the Supercuts, souping up the wardrobe. Forecast looking like Ganesh on 4 phones, which I don't understand. Ganesh. Base camp. Oh, Ganesh is Ganesha is four-armed Hindu god. Okay. Base camp, space camp, base in your face, brace for the rain dance, back in the back of the classroom after a magical nap in a vacuum. Okay. Before climbing douchebag mountain, I was skate or die. Started eating kale and came to terms with my lazy eye. Putting on the yoga lady, cutting off the cable guy. Okay, I get that. So trying to do more yoga, not just sit around and watch TV. Whilst you're waiting for your condition to stabilize. AV cables everywhere, every piece of vinyl scratched. Menthol-lated Tiger Balm, Aleve with your arthritis cap. Irons and that niacin. What's niacin? Or niacin? I forget what that is. High cholesterol. Okay. Refreshing, or the single longest exorcism ever. In the end, you got to wonder if it's even worth the effort. No stairways into heaven. You can step into the Escher. Some people have mistaken my allegiance for a weakness. It fucked me up for eons. I wish I was a theist. The type of to fake his death and then forget he faked his death. Huh. Okay. I with stuff like this, I always wonder, why is it not more popular? And I've as much as I'm enjoying this album, this song and the previous song, these are elements where I feel like because his writing and his lyrics are so complicated and kind of odd, it's hard to get. And so I feel like the average listener is just going to go, I don't know what the fuck this song's about. And so you don't really have a reason to come back, I mean, obviously, unless there's like a super catchy like beat. I've enjoyed all the production, but these last two, this song and the previous song, Tough, make me realize this is why, this doesn't have, because a lot of these songs, 8 million streams, 5 million, 6 million, 10 million, whatever. Really, I feel like every song should have one more number in the number of streams. So instead of 4, it should be 46. Instead of 5 million, it should be 52 million. But I wonder if people would just get held back because lyrically, this guy is hard to figure out sometimes. It's very hard to process and break down. Entertaining as fuck, but complicated. Well, let's keep going. The next one's called Defender. This is track 13, about 3-minute song. Drop it into, did I back it up? Yeah, okay. Here's 13, Defender.
Alex up the street called, said he saw a bobcat. Keep the pets inside, notify your contact.
Yeah.
New Salem, Brave
New
new
Salem would
voodoo.
be
Wave
Pet
with
Cemetery.
Chandler in a haven for the woo-woo.
Right?
A paper china dinner,
it's-
mostly picking
oh,
up
no,
my
I think it's
stitches.
Salem's Lot.
The bloody hair, bad code. Bunny ears, dad jokes. Bitch about Lamictal to whichever vixen. Listen, the skin rash, the schism, the million rash decisions. In truth, the other capital T, terrible 2 days. The Judas plumage to the road improved the prequel to Malaise. A feud he knew was brewing blew up in his face. He'd been replaying the scenario for days with the variables replaced. Man. Loser in the sky with more diamonds than a carpet from the shining. Port Riot, Port Orion. We jarred a lot of lightning up, shook a turkey leg or 10. Maybe we deserve a day of rest. Not to mention, Alex up the street called. Said he saw a bobcat, shot
Not
trash
to
can
mention.
lids, notify our comrades. I said I'll take first watch. 1 a.m. defend the whole block. Ayo, the coyote, summon the ghosts of blown diodes. Open and moving like a luchador with no eye holes. Fried while the pipes froze. Life goes Lovecraft, Christ pose, sitting on invisible hubcaps. Pull Alex back, daggers in a basil patch. Tell him maybe less badminton, more Scrabble dash. Less jarts, more rummy cube, whatever. Keep the scallywags wrapped up in a subterfuge. Gussied up, guarded, and wearing the same armor as the night he argued till he dapped his mans up at departures. I could drive into a lake of fire, pay the piper COD, or wear the pot and kettle shop a little toxin equally at least. It's probably more the kid than the kid. Either way, a vital widget in the system is sick. I see his symptoms in the hinges hit the room.
I like
all
the
at once.
pace
All I could
of
do
this
was
song.
plug the roof with my gum.
The beat,
But
I like
now
his
gotta
flow.
Call Alex back. Coyote.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. The beginning of verse 2, I kind of get. The coyotes, some of the coasts of blown diodes, open and moving like a luchador with no eye holes. So the luchador would be like the Spanish wrestler. You know, they pull the mask on over, but no eye holes. Fried while the pipes froze, life goes Lovecraft. So I feel like he's taking watch, right? He's defending the block. It's 1 a.m. He's high as fuck, but it's cold. Life goes Lovecraft. Was it H.P. Lovecraft is the guy who wrote all those horror novels. Christ pose, sitting on invisible hubcaps. So I don't know about the Christ pose, but to me, sitting on invisible hubcaps means just like squatting down, right? Where your butt is almost touching the ground, but you're not, you know? So you're just like in a full squat. Call Alex back, daggers in the Brazil and the basil patch. Tell him maybe less badminton, more Scrabble dash. Like maybe, I feel like, I don't know about this part, but maybe he's calling Alex back saying, bro, there ain't nothing out here. Like, but what's this about? A patch of basil is maybe a few inches off the ground. It can't hide a sneak attack, a conflict that's breaking out or anything else. Daggers means that in one of the two situations he's talking about, there's a very transparently some real danger approaching. He doesn't want one of the parties to know this, so all of the games are oriented around keeping them inside rather than out. Oh, okay. A subterfuge is a diversion used to achieve a goal or execute a plot. Indoor games are diversions keeping Alex the scallywag inside. Okay. Gussied up, guarded, and wearing the same armor as the knight, so he's wearing black. He argued till he dapped his mans up at departures. I could drive into a lake of fire, pay the piper COD, cash on delivery. Aware of the pot and kettle shop, a little talk. And then I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. It's wild, man.
Castle grass, tell him maybe less freeze tag, more hack and slash. I said I'll take first watch. 1 a.m. defend the whole block. So a third party who was incidentally not Alex seen a black bear catawampus by the college campus. Soon a safety propaganda clamps breeds on leashes. No compost, bird seed out of feeders. Make a lot of noise when you frolic under the ether. Keep a hand on a pepper spray. Sneakers on the detour. They're more scared of you than you them, although one of us chews limbs and one has two chins. So leave a couple messages, vomit a couple dollar bills. Guilty in the window, romanticize in a potter's field. Not sorry, but I never really was a leader. Found money in a speaker, bought lower Manhattan pizza. You meet a few exceedingly forsaken, sit around a cooler refusing domestication. Then a couple decades pass and you can't even find the wavelength you was on when you was running 1 a.m. By the way, a third party who was
1
incidentally
a.m.
not Alex.
So it sounds like AM radio frequency, that kind of shit. So there's some double meaning right there.
I said I'll take first watch. 1 a.m. defend the whole block.
I'm kind of, as we get towards the end, you know, you look at the stream numbers and a lot of the songs I've enjoyed are some of the more popular ones too, but I noticed at the end it does drop off a little bit, and I am noticing right now these last couple songs I'm kind of like, okay, they're fine, but I think really the language, the writing is pretty it's hard to break down and understand, and so I feel like, you know, I'm trying to process these songs, but I just kind of don't get it. Something I find ironic is there was it Dorks? I think it was Dorks, where he's kind of calling out rappers and shit like that. And on one of the annotations, there's a picture up that says, you're using a lot of words, but you're not saying anything. I feel like in these last couple songs, he's using a whole lot of complicated words to just say, yeah, I'm out looking for a cougar. Like making sure the cougar doesn't, you know, sneak around and eat your pets, and we should probably just stay inside. And you get to the part with the bear. Like, it is kind of funny to me that, you know, he's accusing other rappers for using a lot of words to not say anything, but here he's using a whole lot of words to just tell a story of, yeah, there was one night Alex called up and he said somebody saw a cougar, so we got to keep an eye out. That's really what's happening. But I do love this about the bear. Seen a black bear cattywampus by the college campus. Soon the safety propaganda clamp breeds on leashes. No compers, birdseed out of feeders. I don't know what the fuck that means. Make a lot of noise when you frolic under the ether. Keep a hand on the pepper spray. Sneakers on the detour. They're more scared of you than you them. Although one of us chews limbs and one has two chins. Right? So the bear will eat me and I'm fat and slow and I can't run. So leave a couple messages. Vomit a couple dollar bills. Guilty in the window. Romanticizing the Potter's Field. Wasn't Potter's Field from It's a Wonderful Life? And like the people who were kind of homeless, or not necessarily homeless, but like they were all part of his fucking like rental property. Anyway, like when he goes back and he had died in the dreams. Anyway, I'm just fucking babbling right now. Not sorry, but I never really was a leader. I found money in the speaker, bought Lower Manhattan pizza. You meet a few exceedingly forsaken, sit around the cooler refusing domestication. Then a couple decades pass and you can't even find the wavelength you was on when you was running 1 a.m. And so I feel like that's a double meaning. 1 a.m., you know, maybe like a harken back to looking out for the thing that's going to get you, but also like radio wavelength. I don't know. Kind of confusing. Like, I get the general story, but at the same time, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Don't know what the fuck he's... What was New Salem? Oh, the witch trials. That's right. The witch trials. Also, New Salem is an actual place in Massachusetts where at one point they attempted to remove bobcat hunting limits because they were becoming such a problem. Interesting. Salem is a symbol of a brutal witch hunt. Similarly, in this story, the neighborhood is out to hunt the bobcat. Yeah. Oh, and it's a bobcat, not a cougar. I don't think I would hunt a bobcat. I think I would just let a bobcat run around. I don't know why. I mean, they'll both fuck you up, right? A bobcat and a cougar. I kind of like bobcats. I think they're cool. And I don't think I've ever seen one before, aside from like in I was going to say a jail. What's the animal prison called? A zoo. A zoo. Okay, let's keep going. We got 2 more songs. This one's called Water Tower, produced by Aesop Rock. Almost 4 minutes. Dropping into 14, Water Tower.
Es morte es vita. Life is death is life.
Bound. Nothing but the feathers and the skull on a porch like a present.
Gotta be
with
from
a
his
bow.
cat, right?
Dinners in a flat earth, gutted and uncoupled from the patchwork, buried by a 7-year cherub in the backyard, epitaph and all. Disciple of the cycles and sciences, a birth in a fertilized hyacinth, life in a vitamins, invited up the cypresses, a testament to moxie and the miracle of lifelessness. It's tricky when you rather rot into the soil as a nutrient than navigate this mortal coil in human skin. Dig the nuances of putrefying jelly hit the levee when those feathers are a cancer in your bestie. And I pick a ginger gold is fed by a drunken uncle, one from a customer pumping at Sumner blood work. Mehmet them ascending, settling any high scores, 40 meters up with the heart of a high dive horse. Ain't no rules on the water tower. Ain't
No rules on the water tower.
Ain't no rules on the water tower. Ain't no rules
Okay.
on the water tower.
So the annotation, a water tower overlooks the city, so you paint no rules as like a rebellious message. Okay, sure. I feel like this found nothing but feathers in the skull on the porch like a present with a bow. I feel like the cat caught a bird. Denizen of Black Earth, gutted and uncoupled from the patchwork, buried by a 7-year cherub in the backyard, epitaph and all. Disciples of the cycles and sciences of birth into fertilized hyacinth. So like, you come from the soil, you go back to the soil. Life into vitamins invited up to the cypresses. A testament to moxie and the miracle of lifelessness. It's tricky when you'd rather rot into the soil as a nutrient than navigate this mortal coil in human skin. Ha. Wild, man. Wild, 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 wild.
Hold the fuck up. Who is you talking to? Cause ain't nobody talking to you. You can't do a motherfucker.
I told my ex in 97 I was falling on my weapon, ripped the phone about the wall. The poet dragged me from my bedroom. An embarrassing ordeal involving hospitals and questions. And the kind of doctors who use words like cognitive and spectrum while explaining why you're selfish to romanticize a ruse and watch unruly roots pull you that Lucifer by your shoes. I mean, it isn't perfect, but don't misconstrue the purpose. Any urge is indiscernible from community service to the kiddo. Plus, she'd make a beautiful widow, but that's an altruistic ticket to a room with no windows.
To a room with no
You think he
windows.
would have learned back in the 80s when they pulled him out of class over concerns about his safety, but he didn't. It wasn't because he doesn't get the message. More, he doesn't judge a man by how honorable his death is on a scale you made up anyway. Half passed out to pasture, whether clapped or batteries in backwards. Ain't no rules on
Wow,
the water
dude.
tower.
I almost understand that verse. Almost understand that verse.
Water tower. Ain't no rules on the water tower.
I told my ex in 97 I was falling on my weapon. Ripped the phone about the wall. Poe would drag me from my bedroom. An embarrassing ordeal involving hospitals and questions and the kind of doctors who use words like cognitive and spectrum. So that was a whole incident that went down. While explaining why you're selfish to romanticize a ruse in which unruly roots pull you to Lucifer by your shoes. I mean, it isn't perfect, but don't misconstrue the purpose. Any urge is indiscernible from community service to the kiddo. So I'd rather kill myself than do community service, I guess. Plus, she'd make a beautiful widow. But that's altruistic. That's an altruistic ticket to a room with no windows. You think he'd learn back in the 80s when they pulled him out of class over concerned about his safety, but he didn't. It wasn't because he doesn't get the message. More, he doesn't judge a man by how honorable his death is. So he's probably thinking there's no punishment for suicide. If you're atheist, you just go, yeah, whatever. But obviously other religions believe other things. Ha. Trippy, man. Trippy, trippy, trippy.
Sexy shit out here. Don't be trying to come on for me cause you was not all of that with your fucked up haircut.
I had a pet lizard. He never got an obit. Fed him crickets. It was dead a fucking month before I noticed. An older me would note that whether disposable goldfish or theist, we certainly become the earth as equals in a circle. Unique until the spirit isn't willing. While the flesh is still a staple, let a labor force in whistling. It's roadkill evoke an emotion his own totem don't. That's a reality you evade or grow to own. Social code broken, a hierarchy to gas back. Black labs over whack dads on the ad mat. Tabby of a parasite, bats of the parish. A civil war becoming of ungovernable atoms. I'm born from the guts of stars and black tar pits. Siren maiden denim, paint the devil under Gorlicks. Crawls at a clawed corp in a huff and puff. Somewhere in between the dust and dust.
Huh.
Ain't no rules on the water tower.
It's tough because, like, on one hand, I like how he writes. It's very different, and I like how much he focuses on the different words and rhyming structure and all that kind of shit. But I just don't understand. I don't understand. I almost understand sometimes. Wild, man. Let me read this verse too. I had a pet lizard. He never got an obituary. Fed him crickets. It was dead a fucking month before I noticed. An older me would note that whether disposable goldfish or theist, we certainly become the earth as equals in a circle.
I'm gonna die like this lizard, right? We're all. It don't matter. Like, well, I don't want to like assume what he is, thinking or feeling, but yeah, we're all gonna live and we're all gonna die. Unique until the spirit isn't willing. While the flesh is still a staple of the labor force and whistling, its roadkill evoking emotion, his own totem don't. See, this is where he fucking loses me. And I know there's annotations, but like, I don't want to like decipher everything. That's a reality you evade or grow to own. Social code broke and a hierarchy to gasp at. Black labs over whack dads on the ad mat. What the fuck is ad mat? An ad mat gets sent to venues in advance of a show in order to help advertise for the show. Okay. A civil war becoming of ungovernable atoms. I'm born from the guts of stars and black tar pits. Iron Maiden denim, paint the devil under Grolix. Crawls out of cloud coffin, a huff and puff somewhere in between the dust and dust. Okay, yeah, I don't know, bro. Sure. Paint no rules on the water tower. Sure. Okay, sure. Let's go to the final song, which is, I'm kind of glad because my brain is fried. I've had a great time. Losing a little interest on the back end here. Those last couple songs are not engaging me as much as the first 10 did. But this one's called Molecules, produced by Aesop Rock. Let's jump in. Final track. Here we go.
That's impossible.
Boy, he's fucking going rapid style on that one.
Spoilers, the non-bond voyage, stock weaponry and soylence, and whatever stop the voices. Colossal paranoia's out to author an abrasive lore about how war paint will assure you in a painted whore, baby. No ground wires, all jaw froth, mouth breathing outliers, climb out of mothballs. Rung stones, unsung and alone, known to run up in the unknown. Honey, I'm home. I'll push a bucket of bolts, a sort of death in its wake. I take the hand off a thief, I take the head off a snake. Approach a plan like revolution's just a sentence away. Till then he's documenting cops and watching heaven decay. It's not a gentleman's game, it's a generation race. Accordingly, you'll know the differences between the cozy and the quarantine.
I love the fucking build-up.
Yes, y'all, the crestfallen, careworn, air horn, air horn, air horn, air horn. These awful winds, those grinding gears, this pile of bones, that's why I'm here. Wild frontier. Come on. These violent drums, those
this one's kind of cool. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I like the production on this one.
Wild frontier. That's impossible. Body still warm, scavengers already obsessively knocking on his molecules. I'm catatonic, fatting at a rocket fueling ramen, not $1. Watching Rocky 2 and Donatello boxers at some hot as hell motel and what's supposed to be a Shangri-La. More akin to angry mobs with anchor tats and mangy dogs and vacant lots. Traded any semblance of consistency to play the odds. Not even a baby daughter changes gauze. Not even a hideaway to hide up in. A side effect of sliding environment to environment. Driving isn't simply when the tires spin. Try again. Departures and arrivals aren't only time and mileage. Try again. A raider break off from the phalanx and never look back. Never cook crack cave. Thanks. Bye. New York in a rear view, then peel out till they found New York in a windshield. These cursed dogs, those flying spears, this rancid food. That's why I'm here. Wild frontier. Come on. These fleeting hopes, those vital prayers, this bag of cash. That's why I'm here. Wild frontier.
I want to read this second verse. That's impossible. Body still warm. Scavengers already obsessively knocking on his molecules. I'm catatonic, fat, and out of rocket fuel and ramen. So I got no fuel and I got no food. I'm broke, basically. Not $1. Watching Rocky 2 and Donatello boxers at some hot as hell motel in what's supposed to be his Shangri-La, which I forget what Shangri-La is. Oh, well, whatever. More akin to angry moms with anchor tats and mangy dogs in vacant lots. So it's what the hotel room was more like. Traded any semblance of consistency to play the odds. Not even a baby doll to change his gauze. Not even a hideaway to hide up in. A side effect of sliding environment to environment. Driving isn't simply where the tires spin, or when the tires spin. Try again. Departures and arrivals aren't only time and mileage. Try again. A raider break off from the phalanx, which is like a formation of personnel. Never look back, never cook crack. Okay, thanks, bye. New York in the rear view, then peel till he found New York in the windshield. So it was behind him, and then he came back. New York. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. I've been at this for a good 2 hours now, so we're just gonna finish the song and call it a day.
This was never an effective way to rally insurgents, or really even the occupation of a rational person. When you write about seclusion and some buyers finally tune in, you get frightened finding happiness could drive away the movement in a jiffy. Just eat your food and keep the future iffy. That fruition's for the viewers who need a loser to pity. Plus an underlying message of a greater disconnection. God forbid he try to live or gain momentum. Mend or pay his penance. You'd rather see him eat a bowl of mousetrap, surf 1,000 couches, take a jagged little down a hatch, chowderheads. I know you love the way the failure flounder. Maybe I could be your daily downer. If his brain left his body and was headed for the door, would you take it in and help it find its way into a jar? No? Fuck it, let him hop around a maze. We could see us really lost when the Schadenfreude fades. These churning seas, those quiet sneers, this box supports, that's why I'm here. Wild frontier. Come on. These creepy friends, those dicey dares, this perfect dark, that's why I'm here. Wild frontier.
Okay. Well, there you go. I really enjoyed the first 10. And honestly, the last 5, I think the last 5 is a combination of, I've been kind of sitting here for a little while, so the brain's getting a little tired. But I feel like there's just a lyric barrier in these last few songs to wrap up the album. And it's one of those things where it's like if you know beforehand what it's about, then it's like, oh, okay. You can kind of get it. But even when it's being explained to me through summaries or annotations, I'm like, oh, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But that's just a final few. Really, honestly, like for me, I like Molecules with the production. I kind of like the production throughout. But really, like The Impossible Kid, if it was just the first 10 songs, it'd kind of be like a perfect fucking album. Honestly, I was having such a great time. Those first 10. And not that the last 5 are bad. I'm not saying that they're bad. But I did feel kind of like pushed back. You know, the final verse on Molecules kind of makes sense. I like what he's talking about. You know, like, what's going to happen when I'm actually happy? Like, what will I have fans when I'm happy? Do I only attract people when I'm miserable and I make music about being miserable and all that shit? Like, I get that part. But, you know, overall, great album. I can see why so many people have been recommending this for so long. It keeps coming up. This is an album. Some albums they get recommended and they kind of just go away. Like people stop reminding me. This one is consistently people tell you gotta check out The Impossible Kid. You gotta check out The Impossible Kid, and I can see why. Especially the first 10, man. The first 10. Shrunk is great. Kirby, Get Out the Car, Blood Sandwich, Supercell, I think is my favorite. Rabies, Dorks. Those first 10, man, are just good. Super good. You know, and that's kind of something to say about the final 5 too, is not only do I feel a little just kind of like pushed out lyrically, but they're kind of outshined. Those final 5, they're kind of outshined a little bit. Defender was cool. Water Tower, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Lazy Eye a little bit. I don't know. They're just, maybe my brain's just fried. Maybe I'm not being fair. Maybe I just don't realize that I put so much work into the first 10 that when I got to 11, 12, 13, just losing steam, you know, some steam in the brain there. But yeah, great album. I'm definitely going to be listening to this one more for sure. Really enjoy it. Cool production. Very cool. I mean, I just love this premise too of I'm going to sell all my stuff and go live in a barn. And I like how much that incorporated into the album, that experience came into the album and shown through in different ways. Great. Very different writer. And, you know, I never really did get further into trying to describe his flow, his rapping style. It's unique. It's
It's not spoken word. It's not this rapid spit flow. He doesn't really have a lot of variance, but he doesn't sound flat either. You know, at no point was I ever really getting that. I wasn't like getting bored with his vocal performance. I just consistently enjoyed his vocal performance. His performance stayed consistent, doesn't really shift out. It's not like he has parts where he's really loud and going nuts or he's calm and quiet. He's just in that lane. However you describe that lane, he is just in that lane the whole time. And it worked for me. Yeah. Good shit, man. The Impossible Kid. Good shit. When you write about seclusion, somebody's finally tune in. Finally. 7th album. That's another thing that's wild too, is just thinking, you know, how much time and effort some of these artists put in before something really hits at all, you know? And not to say, you know, Aesop Rock is not a huge, huge artist as far as I understand. So to go that long, that far, and then you finally get some. And I don't know, maybe he had other albums that were prior to this that did, you know, well enough to make a career from it too. But well, I'm kind of pride. That was a great listen. I had a great time. I really did have a great time. I could tell right away too. Like, you know, I start sitting in a certain situation, but then when I kind of like sit up a little bit, like, oh, okay. It's almost like gaming, right? It was like, oh shit, you know, we got to actually like try here, right? I noticed that pretty early. I think even just into the first song, or maybe it was the second song. I don't know. But I remember just I shifted my body a little bit because it's time to get a little closer, right? Get a little, a little focused in. Good shit, man. I'm glad I finally got to that. I apologize it took so long, but that was great. That was a great album. And my complaints, I feel, please, if you're kind of worried about my complaints about the end of that, to me, my complaints are, I feel pretty minor about, you know, my complaints about the end of the album. I think it's one of those things too where you listen to it a couple more times, you pay attention a little bit on a couple more listens, and it starts to click, right? I hope. That's one thing that is challenging with this guy, though. He's quick. He's pretty quick, and there's a lot of words, and he's got a pretty expansive vocabulary. So there's some words where I'm like, fuck, I gotta like look that up again. I forgot what that word means. I haven't heard it in forever, or I've never heard it before, or I don't know what that reference is. So that's another kind of a barrier too. But yeah, overall, really enjoy The Impossible Kid. That's a cool fucking album. Cool album. All right, y'all. Take care. We'll see you soon.